We're live. We're live. How is everyone? How is everybody doing? It's Hell in a Cell time. It's Hell in a Cell 2021 watch along time. It's a bit strange. I've got to the point when it comes to these Hell in a Cell, these WWE pay-per-views rather, that I've got to the point where I was used to having these events start at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 12 a.m. over here in the UK, and that's not the case tonight. It's starting at 1 a.m. UK time, so that's 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's a bit of a change recently. As someone who has been enjoying these WWE pay-per-views, the reason I've been enjoying them recently, certainly because the quality, WWE haven't really done a bad pay-per-view in a while. Their pay-per-views have been very good for a while, especially during this ThunderDome era. They've been very good. The stories have been rubbish, but the pay-per-views themselves have been good, and most of them were starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is 12 a.m. over here in the UK. Given that they last 2.5 hours, by the time sort of 3 a.m. rolls around, it's over. I can go to sleep and go to bed, and that's not happening this time, which is very frustrating. Very frustrating, considering today I was up incredibly early, or I guess nearly yesterday now, considering it's nearly 12 a.m., 7 p.m. In the Eastern time in the United States, but I was up very early this today because I had my first jab. I had my first part of my vaccine this morning, and if you joined me for the Against All Odds watch along we did last weekend and the post show that we did last weekend, you would know that I mentioned during the watch along last weekend, I said, oof, I don't know how this is going to go basically next weekend, because I knew that I had my first jab booked in, and I thought, and I've heard and I've seen people, particularly for the AstraZeneca one, I've seen people feel a bit funny after having their first jab, and I think a couple of people in the chat last weekend said to me, like, after the first one you might feel a little bit rough, or you might feel a little bit, you might want to take it easy or whatever, and I was like, oh no, I can't, because that's how I talk. I said, oh no, I can't. I've got to do the Hell in a Cell watch along. I've got to do the post show. What am I going to do? And I thought, I'm just going to have to power through it. And I've got my cans of energy drink here, which if you watch any of the watch-alongs, you know that we always have the can of energy drinks here. But I thought it's going to be a particularly rough stream today, tonight, and into tomorrow. But I must say, I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. No adverse reaction. I had the Pfizer jab earlier on today. I've got obviously a bit of a sore arm, but that's what happens when you stick a needle in there, right? But apart from that, it must be said, feel totally fine. The only side effect, I guess, if you can call it that I'm having, is that I'm just tired. I'm just a bit tired because I had an early start. But apart from that, first jab in the box, tick. Would encourage everyone to get vaccinated. And yeah, feel fine. Again, had the Pfizer one, which I was speaking to a friend of mine earlier today, and he was saying that with the Pfizer jab, that the first one you don't actually feel that rough in comparison to some other jabs. I don't know. All I know is that get vaccinated and we can get out of this. So maybe this is going to be quite boring for everyone, that I'm actually not going to be feeling that terrible tonight. The only thing is I'm just a bit tired, but we have got 2 energy drinks hit with me tonight, so I've just had like half a can of it already, so we're going to get high energy Owen in about, I would assume, 15-20 minutes, which is what you tune in for. And you also are tuning in for Hell in a Cell. The kickoff show is just gone live on the air. We're going to go through the card as they go through the kickoff show. So don't worry, we're going to have that all sorted. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the like button as well. As always, too, super chats are open. You can do that by clicking the $sign. Any donations or contributions are very much appreciated. As we're coming into this watch-along tonight as well, I believe we're only 18 subscribers away from the magic 4,000 number. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. If you care to do so, or you're inclined to do so, be sure to share by clicking the share button as well. That's a great way of people finding us that have yet to find us here on the channel. As I'll just post that we are live now on YouTube. So this is excited. This is very excited. So we'll have to. I will say, when it comes to Hell in a Cell tonight, that it's a strange pay-per-view, isn't it? First of all, it's the last WWE ThunderDome pay-per-view, which is important to state, I guess, as well. The reason that's important is because I think everyone's happy to see the back of it. Everyone's happy to see the back of the ThunderDome. Not that it's been bad, per se, because it hasn't. The ThunderDome hasn't been particularly horrible, but just the pandemic era of pro wrestling in general is just... It's not what pro wrestling was meant to be, is it? That's what it is. It's not what pro wrestling was meant to be. Pro wrestling was meant to be performed in front of crowds, enjoyed by crowds, and we're getting closer and closer to that. So tonight's the last WWE pay-per-view inside the ThunderDome, thank Lord. It does feel a bit like, doesn't it? It does feel a bit like, when it comes to the end of this ThunderDome era, that WWE is kind of just in a position, and I think the fans are as well, that it's just happy to be over. And tonight's event, I'm sure we'll probably have some newsworthy stuff coming out of tonight's show. Possibly, WWE champion, who knows? I think we'll probably see a title change on this show. What that title is, I don't know. But I think we'll probably will see a title change. It's just everything about WWE at the moment just screams, we just got to get past where we are right now. That's what everything screams about that with WWE at the moment. Everything screams to... Wait, I know I say this all the time in the news videos, but everything at the moment screams, well, just, wait until July. Wait until July. Let's just get to July. Let's get to being in front of live fans. Let's wait until SummerSlam. SummerSlam's in Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. That's going to have 50... I mean, how many tickets are actually released for that one? Like 40,000? It's a 70,000 stadium. And they said it was going to be at full capacity, so I don't really get that one. But yeah, they're like, let's get to July. Let's wait until we get to August. Let's wait until we get here. Let's wait until we get here. And everything just kind of feels like with WWE at the moment, we'll just get past it all. Let's just get past it all. And by all accounts, Vince McMahon, this is a funny story that came out today. It's Vince McMahon, and I wish I had to hand. Usually I would, but I wish I had to hand the people that report. It might have been WrestlingNews.co or someone like that, which again is a bit, take it with a pinch of salt. But they said that Vince McMahon knows the product's stale. Vince McMahon knows the product's stale, but he's been saving all of this stuff for the return of live fans. And I just kind of hear that and I go, he knows the product's stale, but the idea of, we have been saving everything for the last 18 months. We've been saving it all for the return of live fans. And I don't doubt that there certainly are things they have saved. I do genuinely think that's probably the case. I do think there are things that WWE have probably saved the last 18 months or so, and they've gone, you know what, that shouldn't be done inside of an empty arena. And that is true. Like, for instance, John Cena versus Roman Reigns, that shouldn't happen in front of an empty arena, right? That should happen in a stadium full of people. But there are certainly, aspects of WWE programming that if you say, well, they're just saving it for a live crowd, that would be, I don't want to swear, but that would be BS. So I find that story humorous. Todd says, are the SmackDown and Dynamite ratings out yet? It's a good question. I haven't seen the Dynamite. The thing is with television ratings at the moment when it comes to pro wrestling is usually, and this comes from someone that used to write news for pro wrestling websites, the issue is with the ratings now is that usually the formula used to be go to Showbuzz Daily, you'll find the ratings, you'll find the cable ratings, you'll find the network ratings. Showbuzz Daily doesn't exist anymore. The website experienced some technical difficulties, and then they never came back up. They announced the closing down of the website. Now, I wasn't really aware of this, and if you are from the United States or you're in the chat or whatever, you can let me know about this because I don't know. I was under the information, or I thought I was in the inclination. What word am I looking for there? Inclination? Inclination. I was under the inclination that ratings were just readily available kind of deal, but I don't think they are. I think that's kind of like not protected information, but it's not like it's not like being published, right, by like Nielsen or whatever like that. It doesn't really work like that. And some people are saying that Showbuzz Daily might have gone down because certain people might have lost their sources, or I don't know. But it's a really weird story that. Anyway, Showbuzz Daily doesn't exist anymore, so pro wrestling ratings are a bit more difficult to get, to answer your question, Todd. So because of that, I think there's a couple of things that have opened up in the last few weeks. I think, was it WrestleNomics have opened up on their Patreon channel. They're pretty good. Is it Brandon Thurston? Is that his name? Has opened up, and I think he's posting pretty regular rating stuff. Anyway, that might be a place to get ratings. So to answer your question in a super, super long-winded way, I don't know. I don't know if they have. We'll check. I mean, it's not as if we're not sitting in front of a computer. So SmackDown ratings, I think I'd heard something that the SmackDown ratings weren't necessarily what they were hoping for when it comes to Hell in the Cell. So here we go. Friday SmackDown drew an average. This is the overnight ratings, and these can change quite a lot. Friday SmackDown drew an average of 1.928 million viewers in the overnight ratings, according to Spoiler TV. Again, this is what I mean. All of these different avenues they're putting up when it comes to ratings. Hour 1 drew 1.926 million viewers, and Hour 2 went up to 1.930 million viewers. Of course, the show featured Universal Champion Roman Reigns defeating Rey Mysterio inside Hell in the Cell. So an average of 1.28, they still couldn't get above the 2 million mark. That is fascinating, really. That is absolutely fascinating. Now, the show drew a 0.5 average rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which was number one for the night, which they'll be happy with. WWE and Fox will be happy with that. This is up 4.1% from last week's SmackDown overnight ratings, which drew an average of 1.853 million viewers, and with a 0.40 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic. So it is up. I think WWE and Fox would have probably hoped that they would have got to the 2 million mark, to be honest with you. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If you can't get above 2 million with a Hell in a Cell Universal Championship main event, it does say quite a lot about the audience that SmackDown doesn't have, frankly, right now. The thing you could say, though, is that if this was better promoted, if this wasn't announced literally 24 hours before SmackDown on social media, if they'd announced this, last week on SmackDown on Fox and given it 7 days of promotion, I would have fancied them to get above 2 million. So the fact that they didn't, I think, says quite a lot. As far as AEW and their ratings, we can search them up. I doubt they're probably out yet, considering their cable ratings and it was in a later time slot. No, they're not out, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. Again, I'm really not expecting much. I'm really not expecting much out of that because the last few weeks we just haven't seen much in terms of the ratings, and I think AEW is hoping that with the move to Saturday in about a week's time, 6 days' time, the move to Saturday, that being live, having a World Championship main event. Saturday's a more favorable time slot than Friday, frankly, because it's going to be an 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., which is way more beneficial because it's not so late. It's not going to be following SmackDown. SmackDown doesn't work as a lead-in for Dynamite. It's been proven at this point. They have separate audiences anyway. They're going to be hoping, when they had Saturday, they did the Saturday Night Dynamite last year during the TNT playoffs. It might have been the Saturday, actually, Dynamite might have been the episode that Brody Lee beat Cody Rhodes in a couple of minutes for the TNT Championship. That might have been a Saturday Night Dynamite, actually, because I remember covering it at the time. So that broadcast on TNT did something like 700, maybe 800,000 viewers or something on TNT. It was pretty successful, actually. And I think they'll be hoping that they'll see that again this coming Saturday. And then obviously after that, they return to Wednesday. It's a very quick turnaround. They go from Saturday to Wednesday. And that's obviously when they're hoping that the viewers are really going to start to pick up for AEW Dynamite once again. Again, my viewpoint with all of that is people are going, it doesn't matter these ratings on the Friday because they'll come back on the Wednesday. There's no guarantee. Whilst I expect them to come back and I expect them to do good numbers once again on Wednesday nights in their usual time slots on a more favourable night in a more favourable time slot, just the assumption, they'll come back because they were there before. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So that is going to be fascinating to see. But look, we've got some Hell in a Cell stuff to talk about. We've got a card here. We've got a pre-show match as well, which is, no disrespect to those involved, but I could not care any less about that pre-show match. It's Mandy Rose versus Natalya. I appreciate the featuring of the tag team championships, the women's tag team championships. That's the feud for the women's tag team championship right now. Not by the sense of, these are two of the top tag teams in WWE. I think at this point, are they the two only female tag teams in WWE at this point, right? I think so. I don't think it's the kind of situation where they've got to tell you what, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, they're just getting so over that it's just, you're going to have to feature them. You're going to have to. No, it's pretty much a situation of, how many tag teams we got left? Okay, 1, One. We got one left. Okay, one tag team. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Tamina. Which, again, no disrespect to any of the four individuals there, but that's a pretty sorry state for the condition of WWE's tag team division when it comes to the female side of things on the main roster right now. So, that match is what it is. I mean, they had a segment, didn't they, on Raw this week where I think Tamina and Natalya, they're training in the ring, and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are having a photo shoot, and they had a bit of a brawl, and it was just... No, it was just not good. It was just the best thing that Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke have done as a tag team is when Mandy Rose fell over at WrestleMania, and that was even bizarre because she fell over, and that was of course because of the rain delay of the first night of WrestleMania earlier this year. So that was funny, that was natural, that was organic. She slipped over, and then this was how crazy WWE is and Peacock is. They removed it, they edited it out of the WrestleMania on demand feed on Peacock, yet they did the angle on Raw where she fell over, or Nia Jax fell over every single week for like 5 weeks in a row, to the point of it wasn't funny anymore. You know, it's like Titus O'Neil. When Titus O'Neil, the greatest Royal Rumble, obviously, iconically, trips over and falls under the ring. It's great. What did they do? They had him fall over like 3 weeks in a row. And by then, it wasn't funny anymore. You know, it's like at school. You know, when you're at school and you're like messing about in class, and then the teacher notices, and the reason that it's funny is because the teacher doesn't notice, or the teacher doesn't get the joke, or you're making fun of the teacher, and then the teacher gets involved and they start trying to joke with you. It's not funny anymore. You know, that's what it's kind of like with WWE. It's the corporate entity. Once they're trying to get on the joke, oh, don't worry, we can be cool, we can be hip. You know, it's like that Steve Buscemi meme when he's there in the hat and the t-shirt and the shorts. He goes, I could be cool, I could be hip. He's like a 90-year-old man. That's what it feels like with WWE sometimes. Anyway, I've got to talk about the Hell in a Cell card because I'm just seeing on the kickoff show in front of me that they're running through the videotape for Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler. And if I have to do that, if I have to watch that backstage segment with Shayna Baszler and Lily again, I think I'm going to vomit live on the stream. So that's not the way we want to start off the stream. So let's start off with the Smackdown Women's Championship inside Hell in a Cell. It's Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Now, you might say, Owen, why are you starting off with this one? Well, according to a report by Fightful Select and PW Insider, it's been stated that the Women's Championship Hell in a Cell match, the Smackdown Women's Championship Hell in a Cell match between Bayley and Bianca Belair is scheduled to open Hell in a Cell tonight. So this should be our opening match of the show. Now, it might not be, of course, because creative plans change every 5 seconds, like the wind. So time will only tell about if this is indeed going to be the match that opens the show. But look, this is reportedly the match that's going to open the show. I did a full preview talking about it earlier on, so I don't want to chew my food twice too much on it. I expect Bianca Belair to retain. I'm really, really not big on the whole this feud is because Bayley laughs. I mean, come on. Whatever. I enjoyed the segment on SmackDown this past week. I do think the jury's still out on Bianca Belair as the SmackDown Women's Champion. I think the real indicator as to her success as the SmackDown Women's Champion is going to be the reaction from crowds once we get back there in July. People are saying that they could see this continuing until Money in the Bank next month. Hell in the Cell should always be the end point. It should be the end game of any feud that it is. I know it doesn't always work like that. I think they're going to do the match tonight, which Bianca Belair wins, and I think they're then going to pivot into a Bianca Belair versus Carmella feud, which is a one-stop shop for Money in the Bank in July, and then that's going to lead to, obviously, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks 2, which is going to take place at SummerSlam. I think that's the avenue that we're going down when it comes to Bianca Belair. So I think Bianca Belair retains tonight. I think it's going to be a good match. Bayley is that talent at the moment. She obviously had that record-breaking Women's Championship reign last year on SmackDown, and you can tell, given her character work and given her championship reign that she had before, that was really a title reign that won over a lot of people backstage, specifically Vince McMahon. She earned the trust of Vince McMahon. And the biggest compliment you can give Bayley is that she's been asked twice this year to help elevate Bianca Belair to another level. She did it before the Royal Rumble. She's done it after WrestleMania, which is a big indicator of WWE's faith in her of, we need you to really solidify Bianca Belair as a top star in WWE, because you can't do it alone. You can be a top name, but you need to have a dance partner. It takes two to tango, as they would say, and Bayley's a very good dance partner in that case. So I think Bianca Belair retains, and it should open the show. But look, it should be a very good match. In the chat, Todd says, FYI, there's a big boxing pay-per-view next Saturday night. Who is that? Which boxing fight is that? I know that Fury Wilder 3 is actually quite soon, which was, I back Fury. I'm a Fury fan, so I back Fury to win that. But be interesting in that. The Big FP says, what show are you looking forward to? The AEW Road Rager show back on tour or the SmackDown show back on tour? I'm looking forward to all of them. I know it's a cop-out answer and sitting on the fence, but I'm just looking forward to watching pro wrestling like we used to watch it, to be honest. It feels like a million years ago that we used to watch it like that. I mean, for reference, when it comes to all that, like, I was talking about this last weekend when I did the Against All Odds watch-along and live stream, that for as long as I've been doing watch-alongs and post-show streams and just frankly, however long I've been doing this channel, I haven't really been doing this channel during a time where pro wrestling was normal pro wrestling. I mean, I think I did like my first YouTube video something like November 2019, so it's towards the end of 2019. But in terms of really taking this platform seriously and taking this channel seriously and really driving down and doing regular content and figuring out what I wanted to do with the channel, especially doing watch-alongs and stuff like that. My first watch-along was Slammiversary last year. I haven't done a watch-along. I mean, I know I did WrestleMania this year, but I haven't done a regular watch-along on a regular basis with a live crowd and all that kind of stuff. So I just haven't been able to do that because of the pandemic. So I'm just looking forward to that in general. So I'm looking forward to all the shows. And we will be doing, don't worry, we'll be doing watch-alongs for a lot of those shows and post-show reaction streams for a lot of those shows as we really get back to a normality for pro wrestling. It's very, very exciting. It really is. Todd says Tank Davis. So is that the boxer? I must say I have not heard. I've not heard that. I mean, I'm not huge on boxing, let's be honest. I mean, my time is wrapped up in pro wrestling and football at the moment. Ryan TFC says not looking forward to the Alexa match. Well, let's move on to that now, Ryan. You are the king of the segue. Let's talk about Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler. I mean, do we have to talk about it? I would assume Alexa Bliss wins. She doesn't wrestle many matches, to be honest. She had the match this past week on Raw. That was her first match since something like February or something like that on Raw. Obviously, I know she worked Fastlane, and she might have worked a match after that as well against Randy Orton. The whole Alexa Bliss thing, I know I've ranted on this a couple of times at this point when it comes to Alexa Bliss and the Alexa Playground and the Firefly Funhouse character and universe. I'm just a bit over it. I'm just a bit over all of this kind of stuff. I'm not massive on the whole supernatural stuff, on the hokey stuff. I buy into it when it's The Fiend. I buy into it when it's The Undertaker. I could buy into it at times when it was Kane, because I did feel that it was leading into the gimmick that they had, but they didn't overdo it. It wasn't every single week. And again, the Firefly Funhouse thing, look, Bray Wyatt came up with that character, that part of the character in 2019, right after WrestleMania 35. We're now 2 years removed from that. And if you look back on the Firefly Funhouse and, Alexa's Playground, which is an extension of that character, there hasn't been a lot that's changed. And in the world of pro wrestling, things do need to evolve over time, and they haven't. And it's just something like the Firefly Funhouse characters. It's almost like a Jedi mind trick in the sense that it feels like stuff is progressing, but nothing ever really does. There are so many Firefly Funhouse segments. I used to criticize Bray Wyatt for this. I really did. That you could watch one of those Firefly Funhouse episodes with Bray Wyatt, and at the end of it, you go, they didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. They didn't do anything. It didn't tease anything. It was just there. They just sort of say a bit of nonsense, show some puppets. That's it. There was no development in storylines or characters. And I just watch all of this Alexa Bliss stuff now, and it just feels like, first of all, Bray Wyatt came up with a gimmick. Someone else has got his gimmick and is on television. He's sitting at home. And Alexa Bliss is very good at what she does. Very good at what she does. She is a great character performer. She is very compelling. She's excellent in all of her character work, her mannerisms. They are tremendous. I don't think anyone doubts the performer that Alexa Bliss is. At this point, though, the material just feels old, and it just feels hokey, and it's eye-rolling, and as a pro wrestling fan, you live in suspension of disbelief. You live in it. But after a while, it's enough's enough. Enough's enough, and you just go, look, move on to something else. Try something new. And you kind of, you almost feel like when it comes to WWE at this point that you have to remember that we are returning to touring soon. WWE airs about 5 million vignettes and promos for every single show. They know the return to touring is on the horizon, and I just can't see. I really can't see a situation where there are going to be fans inside the arena who can cheer and boo and will cheer and boo. They'll cheer what they like. They'll boo what they don't like, all that kind of stuff. I can't see a scenario where a paying fan, a fan that has bought a ticket and is sitting in the crowd, I can't see a situation where a fan is going to be watching this program in the crowd and is going to be actively cheering this whole Alexa Bliss, Lily, a stuffed animal, all that kind of stuff. You saw the reaction at WrestleMania. Fans booed at WrestleMania when Alexa did the turn on the Fiend and then the lights went out and they disappeared. The fans were pissed off. The fans were pissed off in that because they went, actually, that was BS. We want to see more of that. We don't want to see people disappear. It's annoying. And they're not going to put up with that every single week on Raw or SmackDown, whatever it is. They're just not going to do it. They are just not going to do that. They're going to boo it because it's bad television and it's stupid and it's illogical. So it kind of almost feels like when it comes to the whole Alexa Bliss, the Firefly Funhouse stuff, the Lily, the Alexa's Playground stuff, that eventually they've got to move on to something different. They've got to do something different, or maybe they're just trying to get it out of their system because they've got to get it out of their system because otherwise the crowd are just they're going to be all over Alexa Bliss, and they are setting her up for slaughter if they think that's going to work in front of a live audience. So, but I can't see how this ends. I think Alexa Bliss wins tonight. Shayna Baszler versus Alexa Bliss isn't the feud, is it? Realistically, it's not the priority feud for Alexa Bliss. It's certainly not the end game for this character. Alexa Bliss isn't going to get choked out tonight by Shayna Baszler and suddenly Alexa Bliss doesn't do the gimmick anymore. That's not going to happen. So I look at the Alexa Bliss character and I go, where is next? And because Alexa Bliss, and this is what's crazy, Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler tonight, that isn't even the priority for this storyline. This storyline at the moment is Alexa Bliss and Reginald. She's spoken about Reginald all that much. We had Hypnosis this past week on Monday Night Raw, where Alexa Bliss and Reginald stared at each other and tilted their heads sideways like they were, I don't know what they are. But it was just, I don't care for it. I really don't care for it. And again, that's no disrespect to Alexa Bliss. There's no disrespect to anyone involved in this, but it's just objectively bad television. It's bad television. It's bad writing. It's WWE's attempt of, we make movies, pal. We make movies and we do special effects and we can do horror movies. We don't need Netflix. You don't need Hulu. You can have the WWE Network, or you can watch Monday Night Raw on the USA Network, and you can watch your own horror movie. It's like someone watched Annabelle and said, why don't we do something like Annabelle? And Vince McMahon said, what's Annabelle? And they realized, actually, he's never seen Annabelle before, because why would he? He doesn't watch any television that isn't WWE. And he thought, wait a minute, he hasn't seen Annabelle before. I'm going to pitch Vince McMahon the idea of the Annabelle movie, and he's going to think, I'm the biggest genius in the world. I'm the biggest genius in the world because I've just pitched this movie that he's never seen before. He said, oh, you should be working for a movie studio, pal. They should make a film out of that. Someone should say, Vince, they have. It's called Annabelle, okay? It was pretty good, but certainly isn't when you do it, okay? You're the same company that's produced films like, I don't know, Legendary. Do you remember that? Was that with John Cena? The Chaperone with Triple H. So I don't have any faith in WWE to produce their own version of Annabelle, and they have, and it sucks. And it's Alexa Bliss and Lily. And apparently Lily's still in timeout. Well, she should stay there forever. I don't know how Chucky or whatever ended. What did they do? Burn the doll? Do it again here. Burn the doll. Get rid of it. Lily, see you later. It's almost like they looked at it and went, look, Lily is merch. Lily is merch money. Well, she's been featured on TV at this point. She's done. She's over. Enough. No more Lily. No more any of that, please. WWE. Because they watch these streams, obviously. So that's that one. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This feud will never die. This feud will never ever die. This feud will never ever go away. And I'm not complaining. I mean, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they've said before, haven't they? We're going to be fighting forever. They're like the Joker and the Batman. We are destined to do this forever. And they truly are, aren't they? They truly are destined to do this forever. If there was ever a match on this card, that deserved to be inside Hell in a Cell, it would be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And it kind of surprises me that it's not. The only thing I can say is that as to why it's not is because maybe it just doesn't have enough steam behind it. I would be remiss if I said that the match that they had at WrestleMania, for certainly for their standards, was disappointing. I think I expected more. In fairness to them, it didn't get a ton of time. It had Logan Paul sitting at ringside. Looking back on it now, why? Because it's WrestleMania and they wanted to have someone, a celebrity there like Logan Paul. He ate the stunner from Kevin Owens after the match, and he took a pretty good stunner. I don't think you can criticize him too much for that. You can criticize him for pretty much everything else, but his WrestleMania appearance, that was what it was. But the match they had at WrestleMania, again, by their standards, I don't think lived up to the hype. But given their history, maybe not recent history, but they have been feuding a lot on SmackDown in recent weeks. But given their history, you would have thought Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn inside Hell in a Cell, that works. That works. That's a good feud. That's got history. That can be inside Hell in a Cell. Of course, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as a tag team in WWE came together because of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and Hell in a Cell match between Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. That's when Sami Zayn pulled Kevin Owens off the announce table when Shane McMahon jumped off the cell. So it felt like this could have been a match, maybe should have been a match inside Hell in a Cell, but ultimately they haven't gone for it. As to who wins, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn to win this one. Kevin Owens won at WrestleMania. WWE loves 50-50 booking. I think if you're going to look at this, I know Kevin Owens, he's been eating losses to Apollo and Commander Aziz and all that kind of stuff, but I would say Sami Zayn wins, and they'll probably carry it on until July. The reason I said they'll carry it on until July and they'll carry it on to Money in the Bank is because these two guys have nothing else to do. What else is in the pipeline for them at the moment? Kevin Owens is feuded with Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think he's going to get another opportunity soon. Sami Zayn, what else is in for him to do? I think it carries on. And again, not that it's necessarily a bad thing, but it's just a case of, okay, well, we've seen it, and that is what it is, right? And no, that would be it. That would be it. So again, it is what it is. Ryan CFC10 says, great, the US is getting back to normal, whereas in the UK we still stay the same. Well, obviously we had those that it was meant to be fully open, wasn't it? It was going to be today, wasn't it? It's going to be the 21st of June, and it's been delayed until July. Obviously, I think they're looking to get vaccinated once more. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, I got my first jab today. I feel fine, by the way, as well. I was quite concerned coming into this stream that I was going to be just looking, I was going to say like looking terrible, like I ever look good. Like I was going to be feeling terrible and all that kind of stuff, but I must say I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. So no vomiting on stream tonight, unfortunately, which I know people would have enjoyed. Maybe that would have got some super chats in, but it is what it is. Okay, Raw Women's Championship. It's Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. In one of, honestly, for a world, essentially a world championship match, because for the females division, this is the world title, right? For a world championship match or a women's championship match, one of the worst builds probably ever. Honestly, one of the worst builds ever. In the sense that WWE's grand plan for this Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley storyline heading into Hell in a Cell, this is how you build it up, right? You've got two of the top stars on Raw. Two of the top female stars in the division. Rhea Ripley, current Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte Flair, 10 million times Women's Champion. Give or take a couple of numbers there, but 10 million time Women's Champion. Okay, how are we going to build this one up? Here's the big idea. In the same vein that someone pitched the Annabelle movie to Vince McMahon and they created a stuffed doll for Alexa Bliss to carry around, how are we going to pitch this to Vince McMahon? I got an idea. Why don't we have both competitors in this match? Why don't we have them both lose all the time? Why don't we have them both lose to Nikki Cross over and over and over again in these beat the clock challenges where Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley reveal that they're idiots. That even though it's a beat the clock challenge and the ring announcer says it's the beat the clock challenge, even though there is a giant clock on the Titantron that is actively counting down 2 minutes, even though all of that is going on, why don't we have situations where Rhea Ripley just forgets the clock's there? Or Charlotte Flair does something on the outside, stares at Rhea Ripley, and then just forgets she's in a beat the clock match. Why don't we make these two people look like absolutely idiots? Why don't we make them look like absolute idiots? That's how they build up this one. And they did. And they do look like idiots. And the problem is, coming into this one, I could care less. I absolutely could care less. And I think that says a lot about this pay-per-view, to be honest. And this says a lot about this, how WWE has been during this ThunderDome era. You can trace it all the way back to SummerSlam last year, when Roman Reigns returned. You go into these pay-per-views during this era of WWE, and it'll be like tonight. I guarantee it'll be like tonight. I have no doubt in my mind tonight will be a good pay-per-view. There are, 6 matches? It's a short card. It'll be a relatively short event, but you look at all the matches on paper and you go, look, that's a good card. It will be a good pay-per-view. WrestleMania Backlash was good. WrestleMania, first night was very good. Second night was, Good main event, though, second night. But WrestleMania was good. Elimination Chamber was good. Royal Rumble was good. TLC was good. Survivor Series was good. You can go all the way back. Hell in a Cell, Clash of Champions, SummerSlam last year. They all were good. They're all very good pay-per-views. But the stories and the storyline and the creative going into these pay-per-views is horrendous. I mean, it's awful. I mean, an argument can be made heading into WrestleMania. Some of the creative for those matches earlier this year was, just terrible. I mean, just absolutely terrible. But the pay-per-view itself is fine because everyone can work pretty much on the WWE roster. Everyone's good workers, and the matches are good. And as events on their own, they're fine. It's almost like WWE knows this, so they just don't pay any attention to the TV shows because the TV shows are terrible. And it's like it with this feud here with the Raw Women's Championship. The feud has just been awful. I mean, so bad. So bad. But the match tonight, I'm sure, will be very good. It will be entertaining. The only positive thing that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair did in the build-up to this match at Hell in a Cell was they had the pull-apart brawl on Monday Night on Raw, and that's the best thing they've done in about 4 or 5 weeks' worth of television hyping up this feud. That's the only good thing they've done. Because actually, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, they laid it in, they beat the hell out of each other, and finally, during this period of time, you actually went, that looks like two people that want to win. That looks like two people that want to be the champion. That looks like two people that are competitive and they really want to win at Hell in a Cell. Apart from that, you wouldn't have known it. Because Charlotte Flair is Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley, her character since moving up from NXT has just been butchered to death. No one knows if she's a heel or a babyface. They write her the most insufferable promos that she obviously has struggled delivering. She obviously does. You can tell she's either reading from cue cards or actively trying to recite her lines and remember her lines because she's been given this just terrible promo to recite, and that's just not her strong point. She's not a bad promo, but when you script her a promo that's like 10 pages long, you can tell she's trying to remember it, and some of the words she's been given to speak have been terrible. And her character, like I said, has just been butchered. They give her doing this all the time because that's really going to get you over because it's 1975. People still do this, right? In 2021, of course they do. I mean, just come on. So this one tonight, part of me is worried. Because WWE can't help themselves when it comes to Charlotte Flair. WWE can't help themselves when it comes to Charlotte Flair in a championship match, especially given that the return to touring is on the horizon. WWE can't help themselves. So part of me thinks that WWE will pull the trigger on Charlotte Flair winning the Raw Women's Championship tonight. Why? Because Charlotte Flair, damn it, she needs to be champion, right? She's got to be. If she's on television, she is in the championship picture. She always is. When hasn't she been? The only time I can remember her not being in the championship picture and being on television is when she was facing Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. That was, 2 years ago? SummerSlam 2019. Apart from that, she's always in a championship picture, whether it's on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Women's Tag Titles. She's always in and around that picture because she's Charlotte Flair. She's going to break her father's record probably by next year. She's already, a 12-time Women's Champion, if you count the NXT reigns, which they go back and forth on, but 12 times. She made a main roster debut in 2015? That's crazy. That's crazy. It is. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. She's been on the main roster for 6 years, and she's a 12-time women's champion. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. She's got that amount of title reigns under her belt already. And I think she could get another one tonight. I really, really do. Which is social media is going to have a field day with that one. We have Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. I did a preview about this on the channel. So again, I won't chew my food twice too much on it. Insert Name 101 says they've made Rhea's character so unlikable. I maybe not unlikable, but certainly when you watch her promos, you kind of roll your eyes, even though you just do that in general watching Raw. Also says, nobody looks good in this feud regarding Rhea and Charlotte Flair. I agree. Ryan CFC 10 says, I got the AstraZeneca one. Felt like crap, weak sore arm, sweats, chills after the first jab. Second one, I was fine. Prep with paracetamol for the headache. Yeah, again, I was talking to a friend of mine about that, and they were saying that the AstraZeneca one, they felt a bit rough after the first one. Luckily, I got the Pfizer one today, and again, I feel totally fine. So, I guess no excitement on this stream from me tonight. But anyway, let's talk about Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Again, I won't talk too much about it because I did do the preview video earlier today, so you can check that out. I think Seth Rollins wins this one. The reason I think Rollins wins is because Cesaro, again, just this is how WWE booking works. Because Cesaro won at WrestleMania, big match for him. He obviously didn't win against Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash, but he never was going to. I think the performance did help elevate him. They've obviously got plans for Rollins going into the summer months. I think he's pretty much nailed on at this point to be facing Edge at SummerSlam. Edge is returning. He's going to be wrestling at SummerSlam as a babyface on SmackDown. Pretty much only really leaves him to be facing off against Seth Rollins. So I think he'll probably be facing Seth Rollins. If that is the case, I think Rollins will be perceived by WWE as needing some momentum, and he gets that by beating Cesaro. This might not be the end of the feud, frankly. Again, as we get to Hell in a Cell tonight, as we get to Money in the Bank next month as well, they might extend it then. Who knows? But I think we could see a situation where Rollins wins tonight. It's 1v1, and then maybe they do the blow-off at Money in the Bank. Of course, I mean, people like Rollins or people like Cesaro could be involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match next month. Cesaro would be a great name to win Money in the Bank next month, right? A great name. So maybe this will be the final one. But I think Rollins wins this one tonight. And finally, WWE Championship is on the line. It's the last chance Hell in a Cell match. It is going to main event the event because no Roman Reigns. It's Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley, as we're just about to have our kickoff match. So we'll go through this one very, very quickly. It's Jimmy Smith, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton for Raw on commentary. I think Lashley wins. And the reason I say Lashley wins, even though I know McIntyre, it's the last chance. If he loses, he can no longer challenge for the WWE Championship whilst Lashley is champion. I do think that Bobby Lashley wins. I think it's because he is going to be facing either Brock Lesnar or I'm going to say Kofi Kingston at SummerSlam, which is a bit of a curveball, I know. But I think Drew McIntyre... Again, I look at this situation and I think there's more out of the Lashley reign. I do think there's more out of the Lashley reign, and I don't see a reason for him to drop the championship yet. And I think McIntyre needs time out of the picture. He needs time away from the title. He needs time out of the picture. So I think he should. I think Lashley wins. I'm gonna go with Lashley. But look, Mandy Rose is making her entrance. She's doing the god awful stupid, flex thing with Dana Brooke. I must say, like I said, I really don't mean this in terms of disrespect to either, but I could care less. I genuinely could care less about this gimmick. To be honest, I felt the pairing of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke anyway was super, super odd. When they first paired them up, I felt the pairing of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke was was odd. So I didn't know really why they did it in the first place. Especially, we got to remember Mandy Rose. She was coming off a tag team with Sonya Deville. I've just had this major breakup with Sonya Deville. I'm going to go off into being a single star. And I'm going to be a single star on Raw with Dana Brooke as my tag team partner. Okay. So we're seeing a replay of the segment between Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, Tamina, and Natalya this past week on Raw. That was just, again, no disrespect, but I mean, the thing is, when you're a fan of watching pro wrestling in the UK, and you have to stay up till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and you watch Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke brawl with Tamina and Natalya in a ring with a bad promo, you do start to sort of question everything. You do sort of go, what am I doing? why am I doing this to myself? But here's Natalya and Tamina. But again, I mentioned before that this is continuing the feud for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And I say continuing the feud for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where it is Tamina and Natalya versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. We're going to get to that point, of course, because there are 2 tag teams in WWE's Women's Division right now. What other tag teams are there? They're all gone. They're all gone. Any legitimate tag teams that WWE ever had at any point disappear. Like Thanos snapped his finger. Vince McMahon snapped his finger and decided to, okay, we're going to get rid of them. The Riot Squad, you can go. The Iconics, you can go. Let's just get rid of all tag teams in WWE at this point. That's what Vince McMahon does. As Mandy Rose and Natalya start this one out. is a head scissors by by Natalia. See, this is what happens when I'm up early. I'm already making mistakes. Todd says title change. Let's go. This isn't a tag match. What the hell? Yeah, it's a singles match. It's a it's a weird match to have on the kickoff show. It's such a weird match that just fundamentally no one will care about. No one will care about this match. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, smash a like on the like button if you're excited for Hell in the Cell. Super chats are also open. You can do that by clicking the $sign. Any contributions or donations to the channel are very much appreciated. We are something like 18 subscribers. As 18 subscribers away from 4,000. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I'll do a quick check. I think 18 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers, which of course would just be amazing. Only 15 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers. So maybe we get there tonight. Fingers crossed. That would be amazing. Amazing if we got there tonight. Time will tell. There's plenty of time. Obviously, there's going to be the watch long for the entirety of the show. There's going to be the post-show reaction stream as well. Big month. Big month of pro wrestling in July. Obviously, pretty much every company returns on the road. You've got Raw and SmackDown in front of live audiences again. You've got Money in the Bank. You've got Slammiversary if you're an Impact fan. You've got AEW returning to their usual time slot on Wednesday nights and being 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You've got the 4 consecutive TV specials. You've got Road Rager. You've got Fyter Fest. You've got Fight for the Fallen. What a month of pro wrestling July is. What a summer of pro wrestling we have to watch and be excited about. This is going to be very, very exciting. I am beyond excited to be getting back to a point where we're going to have fans back in the arena on a regular basis. I'm very excited just to be tuning into Raw or SmackDown and being like, where are they going to be this week? Where are they this week? Knowing exactly what arena they are and going to be in is just it's boring. It's boring. Nuke the Wales says, not the country, hopefully, says, are you excited for fans coming back? Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm very excited for fans coming back. I'm very excited that this is the last ThunderDome pay-per-view. It must be said. Oh, Mandy Rose just pulled Natalia's face into the rope. That was nasty. Todd says, I got the Pfizer one as well. No side effects. Yeah, I feel fine. I feel great. Sore arm, but, I mean, that's to be expected, right? You just had a needle jabbed into your arm, so. It was strange as well, actually. I got... we see a replay of that. Natalia, she literally gets her jaw right into that rope. Yeah, I got the jab at this pharmacy, and it's like the weirdest pharmacy I've ever been to, honestly. Fortunately, it was right opposite a beach. So, obviously, once you get your first jab, you're meant to walk around 15 minutes just in case you feel a bit rough. You know, they encourage you not to drive or anything like that. So, I went for a walk on the beach. But this pharmacy, honestly, it was like, from the outside, it looked like just a repair garage. It looked like somewhere you would take your car to get fixed, honestly. And inside it was just this pharmacy. It was the dingiest pharmacy ever, with that artificial lighting. It was bizarre, but what you got to do? You got to get vaccinated, people, right? That's how we get out of this. Ryan CFC says, you seen the China doc? It was so sad. I haven't. I literally have not had the time to see the China documentary. But I, like yourself, I do make plans on watching it. I might watch it. This is a bit behind the curtain. This is how boring, how much I don't care about this match is. I'll talk about anything else for it, so keep the questions coming. Whenever I finish doing these watch-alongs or the post-show streams, it's so difficult. Like even if it's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. sometimes over here, it's so difficult just to stop this, log off, shut the computer down, and then go to bed. It's so difficult because you're still you're looking on social media, you're still sort of coming down from the show. Like, it's a bit of an adrenaline thing. I mean, I know it feels like we're just watching the matches together, but you're still excited, you're still jazzed, and because I love doing this. I mean, I absolutely love doing it. I love, interacting with you guys, talking to you guys, watching pro wrestling, all that kind of stuff. So it's difficult sometimes. My point being, it's difficult to kind of come down from all of that. So it's difficult to go to sleep immediately. So sometimes you have to watch stuff afterwards. So, one might be, I mean, I was thinking about watching the China documentary maybe tonight after I get off the stream. If not, I'll watch it tomorrow. But I've also heard, it's very sad. I think it features a lot of the footage of that China documentary that wasn't aired, that was being filmed when she was alive. Look, China's life is very sad in general. It's there's a lot of real damage there, and a lot of people that really took advantage of Joni Lauer, and obviously the way it ended for her in WWE is very sad, and it's a real sad story. And someone that obviously had their demons. Addiction is no joke. Addiction really is no joke, and was surrounded by people that maybe didn't have the best interests in her life. I haven't seen the documentary, so I'll reserve judgment, but I know I've seen comments by her manager in the past and all that kind of stuff. And even now, sometimes you see her Twitter account and you do question whether they truly have the best intentions for her, even right now. And it's very sad. The Chyna story is very sad in general, for someone that changed so much in the world of pro wrestling. And there are so many people today that wrestle, female performers, that have Chyna as an inspiration. So it's very, very sad. But I will be watching it very soon. And a slingshot kind of suplex by Natalya stamps on the back of Mandy Rhodes' head, and a basement drop kick to the face of the goddess. Goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. This match is still going on, yes, even though I've just been talking about anything but. So if you do have something else you want to talk about, let me know in the live chat. Of course, you can send a super chat as well. We'll talk about that too. We'll talk about anything. This is what these watch-alongs are. It's, we'll talk about what we're seeing on the screen. It's instant reactions, but it's just kind of... I know we're kind of coming out of that situation now where everyone's at home and we're forced to stay at home, but especially for events like this, we're still in a situation where you might not be able to watch the Hell in a Cell with your friends or a watch party, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, if you've got something to talk about, just let us know it. Ryan CFC says, I went into the drop-in center, showed my arm, in and out in 15 minutes, no wait. Yeah, I saw those drop-in centers. There was one over here in the UK. I think it was kick out. It was Hyde Park or Twickenham a couple of weeks ago. And it was like Disneyland lines, which is great to see. It really is great to see. I know it's been different over here in the UK as it has been in the United States, hasn't it? The United States it's kind of been a bit of, once the vaccine was available, it was just available. Over here it's been far more staggered, hasn't it? So obviously, like I said, I had my first jab today, and I was only able to get that booked in the last week or so because it's only just opened up. So the sooner everyone gets vaccinated, the better. Oh, inside cradle by Mandy Rose gets a 2 count. And a discus clothesline by Natalya. This might be it. Mandy Rose kicks out. Dana Brooks at ringside, as is Tamina. The 2 only tag teams in WWE. The tag team division, the women's tag team division is such a joke at this point in WWE. It really is. The NXT women's tag team division does have something about it. It is taken seriously, but I mean, come on. Tag team wrestling in general. It's good to see, I suppose. Backslide by Mandy Rose. Natalya kicks out. It's good to see that, I guess. Oh, big knee by Mandy Rose. It's good to see that tag team wrestling is just. Oh, Mandy Rose. It hits the knee, but Natalya kicks out. It's good to see that just WWE, just in general, they don't discriminate when it comes to tag team wrestling. They book all kind of tag team wrestling badly, male or female. Raw, SmackDown, both brands. They don't care about tag team wrestling at all. Standing switch by Natalya. O'Connor roll. Mandy Rose gets out or transitions into a schoolgirl. Or another transition by Natalya. What she goes into? Goes into a cross arm breaker, it looks like. Cross arm breaker. Oof. Mandy Rose gets to the bottom rope. Jimmy Smith's great on commentary, by the way. Talk about an upgrade on Adnan Virk. I mean, to be honest, I think... what would have been an upgrade from Adnan Virk? A Rock with a headset on. Not The Rock, a literal Rock. But Jimmy Smith is excellent. Bridge out of a pinning combination by Natalya. Goes for a backslide. Double leg now. It's going to go for the sharpshooter. And Mandy Rose tried to roll out of it, but that was just terrible. Sharpshooter is logged in on Mandy Rose, and Natalya manages to tap Mandy Rose out. So Natalya gets the victory by submission. Quite a few counters there, which was quite nice. Not a bad finish. A little bit sloppyish towards the end, but that was not a bad match, is what it was. Considering that I was not paying any attention for the majority of that, I was talking about anything in the live chat because I just, again, have no interest in this feud whatsoever. But credit due to both Mandy Rose and Natalya, the last 5 minutes or so. Some good combinations there, some good roll-throughs. But the fact that during that match, I talked about Jimmy Smith, the vaccine, Adnan Virk, a Rock with a headset on commentary probably tells you my interest in that one. But it doesn't really matter, I suppose, because Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke will still get an opportunity at the Women's Tag Team Championships at some point. But, that match was better than I thought it was going to be. If you're excited for Hell in a Cell, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As I mentioned, we are only 15 subscribers away from the magic 4,000 number tonight. So maybe tonight's the night. Maybe tonight's the night that we get to 4,000 subscribers. If we do, I was thinking, like, what do I do if we get to 4,000 subscribers? I feel like I should do something, but I have nothing to give. I really do have nothing to give. We'll do something. We'll do something. Well, we have to do something. Maybe we'll do like a giveaway or something like that. Maybe we've got like a load of Wrestle News 365 merchandise, but then who wants that? Like, I mean, to be fair, what the thing is the Wrestle News merchandise, Wrestle News 365 merchandise that I have is actually really, really cool. I think it's pretty cool. It's got logos on it. There's a couple of slogan ones that I had that I still have. The problem is none of it fits me because I ordered it when I was a bit slimmer, and it doesn't fit me now. But now I've got to go. I got a wedding coming up that I've got to go to, so I have to get on like the biggest crash diet you can ever imagine. Because again, like it's a long story. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, basically, there's a wedding in 3 weeks that I have to go to, and oh my gosh, I have to lose weight before I go to that wedding. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we do something about that on YouTube. Maybe we do that. Keep me accountable. Ryan CFC says, I'm in London, so also the Triple H comment about China on the Austin podcast did not help. The two men on the dock should be in jail. Again, yeah, so I haven't seen all of it. As far as the Triple H comment on the Steve Austin podcast, it's a really good point you mentioned there. When he mentioned that at the time, I kind of felt a bit like that was such a cop-out of a comment. Basically, the comment, if you're not familiar, is Steve Austin, and that's when those first live Steve Austin podcasts were on the network, and they were so great because Steve Austin basically just sat important people in WWE down, whether it was Vince McMahon, Triple H, and asked them questions we would want to ask, didn't give a damn about making them feel uncomfortable or putting them on the spot. He asked questions that people should want to know. One of them was to Triple H, and one of them was, why isn't China in the WWE Hall of Fame? And essentially, Triple H's answer was, and this was such a cop-out answer, it was a BS answer. Basically, the idea was that WWE is a PG company, and he had a problem with little kids, maybe his children or other little children, Googling China, WWE China, and then seeing all of this stuff about her career in adult entertainment or whatever. That was his concern. Oh, I don't really want to see young children Googling China's name and then seeing all this kind of stuff. It's just that doesn't look good for us, and I don't want to corrupt young children and all that kind of stuff. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he basically said there. And the idea is you go, well, okay, that's a reason. The issue is there is plenty of people on your roster that have also done that. One of them is, of course, Triple H's best friend, or one of Triple H's best friend, is Sean Waltman, X-Pac. X-Pac was in one of those movies, a couple of those movies with China. And again, I'm a big Sean Waltman fan. I'm a big X-Pac fan. The relationship he had with Joni Lau was one of the most toxic relationships you'll ever see. They were obviously, again, full-blown addicts, and they were, there was a lot of abuse going on in terms of substance abuse during that period of time. But ultimately, look, you can't say, well, we're not going to have China in the Hall of Fame because of this, and you've got people on your roster or under your payroll that also have the same thing. If you typed in Sean Waltman, you might see the same results. If you type in Hulk Hogan, you might see the same results. And I know it's different because China signed up to that kind of stuff and she actively pursued it, but it's a company as well that during the late 90s, they had the big deal with Playboy every single year, even with Joni Lau with China, but every single year, and even into the 2000s, people, we're going to have all of our divas in Playboy and all this kind of stuff. Again, if you type in some of those names, you'll see that on Google. So to say, we don't want to have that because of, China's past in adult entertainment, unfortunately, it was a cop-out answer. And essentially, the reason China's WWE career and legacy ended the way it did is because of politics. And it always came down to who is going to get treated, who's going to get, where is the side of WWE going to land on? Is it going to land on the side of China, who was just an employee of Vince McMahon, was a star of Vince McMahon, or is it going to land on the side of Stephanie McMahon, who is the boss's daughter? It's only ever going to land in one direction, and I think China maybe had an issue with that. I think China had an issue with that, and it's just sometimes, unfortunately, life isn't fair with that kind of stuff, and it was a horrible situation for everyone involved. And look, China as well, it can't be said, it has to be said that she absolutely had her demons, and there was periods of time, certainly later on in her life, where she was completely out of control, and there was no way WWE could ever bring her back, not because of just the adult entertainment stuff, but also she was an addict, and she was appearing on some of these reality shows. If you've seen some of the appearances of China on those reality shows, I mean, I'm a Howard Stern fan, and I'm a long-time listener of Howard Stern. It's very difficult to get his shows over here in the UK, but I'm a long-time listener and watcher of Howard Stern, and some of those episodes, some of those appearances where she appeared on the Howard Stern show, there's one in particular where China's on the Howard Stern show, and she is just messed up beyond belief. And WWE would obviously look at that and say, how on earth can we bring that back? How on earth can we bring someone who's obviously going through all that stuff back? We can't. And she said some very, frankly, libelous stuff about the likes of Triple H and Vince McMahon and all that kind of stuff that she took back towards the end of her life. And it was such a complex situation. And both sides had issues that they should have addressed, and they didn't address. And it's a really sad situation. But I do plan on watching it. I do. Ryan says, here's an idea at 4K subs. You have to wear a new Chelsea shirt on stream. That's not going to happen, Ryan. Unfortunately, I don't know if you know this or not, but I am a Manchester United fan. Another thing, actually, speaking of Manchester United, Flex, who I worked with on the United stand, has his own channel now. It's called The United View. So if you're a fan of football, if you're a fan of Manchester United, which you might be if you watch me here on the channel, if you're a fan of Flex, if you're a fan of the United Stand, or if you're a fan of just football in general, really, be sure to check that out. It's called The United View. Be sure to subscribe. Flex is a great guy. He was always so good to me. I really enjoyed working with him during the time on the United Stand. Great guy. Just total gentleman. Charismatic, entertaining, great football knowledge, a real good host as well. That's what I really like about him. He's a real good host. He's really good at hosting conversations, getting people talking, not being judgmental on opinions. He'll ask the right questions. I think he's a great interviewer. So if you haven't already, go to his new channel. It's called The United View. Excellent channel, and a great guy as well. So be sure to subscribe there. Not that he needs my plugs. I mean, he's got far more subscribers and followers than I do. But great guy. So if you weren't aware, be sure to subscribe to Flex on the United View. Great guy. We're about we're going to be live for Hell in the Cell any minute now, as the pre-show is wrapping up. Finally, Peter Rosenberg. I don't want to have Peter Rosenberg on my TV screens. No disrespect, Pete, but So the Hell in a Cell is lowering, which means, of course, the Hell in a Cell. I mean, again, the SmackDown Women's Championship match is scheduled to open the show. So the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is up next. Yep, Kayla Braxton has just confirmed that the SmackDown Women's Championship is going to be opening the show. So the report by Fightful and PW Insider and the like was correct. It's going to be Bayley versus Bianca Belair, kicking off Hell in a Cell inside the... They don't give it the cool names anymore. I remember when growing up, they used to have Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler and all that saying that it was Satan's structure and the devil's playground and all that kind of stuff. I love those like metaphors for it. They don't call it that anymore. I guess because they can't say like Satan or the devil on WWE television. Is that really non-PG? I don't think it's that bad, is it? But I love the idea of the devil's playground. Satan's structure, maybe that one is too far, but I love the devil's playground. I thought that was such a good name, and I haven't come up with that again since then. Earlier in the day, once we posted the watch along and it was live, before we even came on the air or anything like that, I do want to bring it up because anyone that does post comments, we'll read it out. Jason Michael said, you can see it at the top of the chat, says, "Hey Owen, people are speculating that Aleister Black is backstage." I have seen that, a couple of people saying it on social media. I will say, and this is no disrespect to them, but I will say that the people that I saw post that on social media, I wouldn't say were super credible. Like, you haven't seen the likes of Fightful, PW Insider, Wrestling Inc., whoever. You haven't seen anyone actually, even Dave Meltzer, you haven't seen anyone say that with a bit of credibility. It just feels very social media. I've got a source, I don't want to say Brad Shepard because I think I just was sick a little bit when I said his name. I don't want to say him because he's one of those people that just make stuff up. I mean, social media is full of it. Social media is full of, I've got a source in WWE. Well, I've got a source in the fridge, okay? It's ketchup. That is just as equivalent to your source that you have in WWE, in that it doesn't exist. In fact, I do have ketchup in the fridge, and my source is more legitimate than your sources in WWE. I mean, oh, God, I just hate that stuff. You see it on social media, and then some of it is predictable as well. Some of it is like, someone will post something on Instagram, right? They'll post something on Instagram, and they'll be like, for instance, right, this is a great one. Sonya Deville. And I didn't break this story because I don't do journalism. I'm not a journalist. I'm not in the business of scoops. I'm in the business of, seeing news, talking about news, giving an opinion. I like to think of myself as just, giving opinions or anything like that, right? Sonya Deville, actually, I did a tweet a year ago, right? A year ago, when Sonya Deville, she just had, the stalking incident, and she did a promo on SmackDown. This is when she was meant to be facing Mandy Rose, hair versus hair, and the hair versus hair didn't happen. It became loser leaves WWE, right? And Sonya, I did a tweet that basically said, "Oh, I can't imagine what's Sonya Deville's going through at the moment." She cut a great promo, all that kind of stuff. Sonya Deville quote tweeted that and said, Sonya, something like, she calls herself Daddy, right? So it was like, "Daddy loves SummerSlam," and she posted something on Instagram, maybe like a day later, or maybe before that, to have her working out in the ring. She was working out with, I think, Liv Morgan, Lana, I think Brody Lee Jr. was there. There was plenty of people there. I think Buddy Murphy might have been there as well. They were all just training in the ring, and then this big story goes around, and people putting out on Twitter of, again, people, according to a source, Sonya Deville has actively begun her preparation for a return to the ring. And it's like, wow, well done. You cracked that one, didn't you? I mean, what did you do? You looked on Instagram, and it's a bit like, I always say this when it comes to social media. I say it when it comes to news. I say it irrespective of pro wrestling. If you read a story online, if you read a story, whatever kind of outlet it is, whether it's, pro wrestling, politics, sport, whatever you're into, do your research, question it. Look at something. If you see a story, go, do I believe that or not? And what are other people saying? Maybe there's only one person saying this. What are they saying? Are they saying it's true? What's this person's credibility? What's this person's track record? Again, I'm not in the industry of being a journalist because I'm not. I'm a terrible journalist because that's not what I do. I give my opinion. I praise what I like. I criticize what I don't like. That's about it. And sometimes, you watch, it's just, they've got Pyro coming out from the South. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. As Hell in the Cell was on the air. Yeah, just question everything, Question everything when you see stuff online, right? Todd says, we're going to see puppies in Satan's Playground first. Giddy up Jerry Lawler. Gosh. I mean, Todd's on one. Jeez. But with the final time inside the WWE ThunderDome, Hell in the Cell is officially on the air. As again, we're going to be starting off with the SmackDown Women's Championship. We'll change the graphic on the screen in a second. I don't know about you as well. I just have, it really bothers me. It really bothers me that Hell in a Cell is red as well. And I know I sound like I'm on a massive moaning streak tonight, but yeah, I preferred Hell in a Cell when it was the usual chain color, the silver color. I mean, I'm not against the newer Hell in a Cell. I say newer. This one debuted in what, like 2006 or something. But I don't know how I feel about the red Hell in the Cell. I'm still not used to that. As Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are on commentary. How great is Pat McAfee, by the way? He is such a great addition to SmackDown. His passion, his enthusiasm, his charisma. Awesome. I love it. As Bianca Belair and Bayley is going to get next. It just mean we're going to have a... I have a feeling we're going to go to a video package, aren't we? Did Michael Cole open the show with, well, here we go, I guess. Oh, God. Video package. This is what really bothers me. And again, I'm already going to go on another moment. This is what bothers me when they do this when they start pay-per-view. So we're 6 minutes into the show, right? We're 6 minutes into the show. We had a lengthy cold open. We had pyro. That goes off, right? All this kind of stuff happens, and they go, right, we've got Bianca Belair versus Bayley's our opening match. Like, right, great. You know, I've just sat through a cold open. I've just sat through the pyro. We're going to have the action. We're going to go to Bayley versus Bianca Belair. We're going to go to another video package. And you go, oh, God's sake. God's sake. Because the problem is, if you've just watched the pre-show, you just saw this video package like 15 minutes ago. You got to watch it again. So, and don't worry, I mean, I get it. Because obviously, not everyone watches every show. And obviously people don't watch SmackDown or Raw. So maybe they watch the video package because then you at least know what's going on. But it's just, sometimes it's the frustrating thing is because, you know, given the video packages, given the cold open, given the pyro, given the entrances, the match won't start until 15 minutes into the show. And it's a bit like, I'd love for the day where you open up a pay-per-view and 5 minutes in, you've already got a match and you're red hot, you can go. You know, sometimes it's just not like that with these things. And I never understand it. It feels like, again, I understand the purpose of the recap packages. Don't get me wrong, I do, because, again, people don't watch Raw. And I'd much rather actually skip Raw and then just watch a recap package on the pay-per-view, which save me a lot of time and grief, frankly. But it's just, you know, it is what it is. But look, guys, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the like button, too, if you're excited for Hell in a Cell. Super chats are open. You can contribute or donate to the channel via the $sign. It's very much appreciated. We're about 15 subscribers. Well, we are 15 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers. Big landmark number for us. We'll see if we can do that tonight. Fingers crossed we can. Actually, that's properly fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we can. Would be amazing. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. You might even be the 4,000th subscriber. Who knows? That would be awesome. So this match between Bayley and Bianca Belair, as we're still watching this recap package here, obviously wasn't actually going to be inside Hell in a Cell originally. It was part of the situation of having Reigns versus Mysterio move to SmackDown on Friday, opened up the spot for another Hell in a Cell match to take place on the pay-per-view. So they ultimately decided to have Bayley versus Bianca Belair. Of course, it's Bayley's second Hell in a Cell match ever, as we're just seeing this past Friday on SmackDown, where Bayley just beat the hell out of Bianca Belair, planted her with a rose plant, and held up the SmackDown Women's Championship, which of course means Bayley's losing tonight because that's how WWE works. If you hold the title up on the go-home show, you're losing. It's like having a match in your hometown, you're losing. It's one of these WWE affects, and I think that's going to be the same tonight. But yes, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right corner, so I just nearly punched my microphone over. That's a good start. So we've got the evil, sinister Hell in a Cell music. Here comes Bayley herself, longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in WWE history, of course, in her historic reign last year. The role model. I'm waiting to a point, frankly, where her entrance incorporates her weird cackle into it as well. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually the Bayley is like the open for the Bayley entrance. But here comes Bayley. Bayley's got some badass pyro, by the way, which we're going to see in a second. There's the Bayley pyro. Awesome pyro. Big fan of the Bayley pyro. Big fan of pyro in general. It's small things in life. I like custom pay-per-view sets and pyro. Then I'm happy. Bayley's stroking the cage, which is a bit strange. So we're going to be opening Hell in a Cell tonight with a Hell in a Cell match and closing it, of course, with a Hell in a Cell match. Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre is the main event. As Bayley's got a jacket on that match. It's the cage as well. Bit of red on red. United fan, I appreciate that. Ryan says, yes, I've met Flex. Great guy. And I heard the news, Newcastle United to be sold for $340 million to the Saudi, I guess, royal family or whatever fund, making it the richest club in the world at $240 billion. Wow. It's actually going to happen because the government didn't approve it last time. So we'll believe it. We'll believe it when we see it. Here comes Bianca Belair. I guess I can actually switch the graphic. SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Obviously, I guess that obviously in the matches so far, Bianca Belair has used her hair as a weapon. She's used her hair as a weapon against Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. Just nearly whipped Sasha Banks in half, nearly ripped her stomach off. She obviously used the hair to her advantage to get the victory over Bayley at WrestleMania Backlash last month. But obviously now, the hair is completely legal. So Bianca Belair can use the hair should she want to use it. I'm sure she will. And to be honest, that hair is vicious. That whip she did on Sasha Banks at WrestleMania was absolutely brutal. I mean, it really was. It was brutal. But SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line. Let me know your predictions in the live chat. Who do you think is going to be leaving the SmackDown Women's Champion? Myself, personally, I'm going with Bianca Belair to retain, which I think a lot of people are, to be honest. Should no doubt be a good match, though. As the padlock has locked the door of this hour. The bell has rung. And it's Bianca Belair versus Bayley. It's officially underway. I tell you what, Bianca Belair, of course, who makes her own gear. She makes her own ring gear. It's very Medusa-like. I think, Alundra Blaze, rather, if we're talking WWE. Bianca Belair looks to have raided Alundra Blaze's closet. Collar and elbow tie up to start this one up with, and a body slam by Bianca Belair straight away. And another one. I thought she was going to go for a Michinoku driver already. I thought we were going to get a Michael Cole straight away. Michinoku driver. How long before we get a Michael Cole screaming Michinoku driver? Tonight on Hell in a Cell. But yeah, Bianca Belair's gear is very... feels very Alundra Blaze-like, doesn't it? Bayley's going for a weapon straight away. She's going for a steel chair. Of course, this is the good thing with Hell in a Cell. You get lots of weapons. I wonder how long it takes to get the toolbox. Saw the toolbox on SmackDown this past week with Reigns and Rey Mysterio. How long does it take if we get a toolbox, fire extinguisher, table? So Bayley's got a steel chair in hand. She's smiling on her face. Is she going to start laughing? When are we going to get the cackle? There's another chair. Bayley has just shoved the other chair outside of the ring. So Bayley's the only one with a chair right now. Bianca Belair isn't. As the two competitors are facing off. Grando says Baron Corbin will impersonate other wrestlers every week on SmackDown. You know what's on about there, but okay. But there was a pinfall attempt there by Bianca Belair, and Bayley's grabbed the chair once again. Of course, Bayley did compete inside Hell in a Cell last October against Sasha Banks. But of course, Bianca Belair's just realised she's got her own weapon. She's got her hair. Oof. Gosh. Bianca Belair's trying to use her hair as a weapon. It's bouncing off Bayley's chair. Bayley shoved into the corner. Oh, drop kick by Bianca Belair. Went straight into Bayley's chest in that steel chair. That was nasty. It's a hair versus chair match. Oh, shoulder to the gut of Bayley there in the corner. Belair's going to put Bayley on the top rope. Oh, forearm to the face of Bayley. And again, another forearm straight to the face. Bayley and Bianca Belair perched on the top rope. Well, Bayley certainly is. Bianca's on the second rope. Oh, look at that. Moonsault from the second rope by Bianca Belair. The athleticism is insane. Oh, she slipped. Managed to catch herself. She's going to go for a superplex, it looks like. Oh, Bayley falls down. Oh, just smashes Bianca Belair's face into that ring post there. That was nasty. Oof. Bianca Belair shoved into the ring post by Bayley. And a knee to the head. Norm Grimes says, Austin threw Triple H nothing but softball questions, especially with the releases while making a fortune. Austin lost his edge on this one. Ryan CFC 10 says, if the owner had won the court case with the Prem, it will get accepted. But I'm just glad for financial fair play rules. But then again, we have Abramovich who splashes the cash on players. Financial fair play rules are getting rid of. Financial fair play does not exist anymore. Well, there have certainly been proposals to get rid of him because it doesn't work. Bayley now back in control of this. Bayley now going after the injured arm. Oof. Some joint manipulation by Bayley as well. She's not only got this sort of arm submission on, but she's also bending the fingers. Oh, just slapped Bianca Belair in the face. Goes for a cover, kicks out at 2, does Belair. So going back to how Bianca Belair injured her shoulder in the match, she was thrown into the ring post by Bayley. And then thrown into the turnbuckle by Bayley as well. Oh, and a one-armed DDT by Bayley there. Bayley now focusing on the arm, embracing her inner Pete Dunne with the joint manipulation. What's Bayley going for now? Looks like she's going for the steel steps. Struggling to get the steps in the ring. Oh, just about manages to get it in the ring. It's like a deadlift. So Bianca Belair is still favouring the shoulder, selling the shoulder injury, seemingly. Bayley's dragging these steel steps to the corner here. Oh, and an elbow drop by Bayley. As Michael Cole's keen to tell us, the stairs are legal. Stairs completely legal, Pat. No disqualifications inside Hell in a Cell unless Brock Lesnar gets involved or The Fiend gets involved, and then suddenly it becomes a no contest, because that's how Hell in a Cell works. Remember they did that 2 years in a row. Bayley stamping on the ponytail on top of the steps as Bayley's telling Michael Cole to talk about her. Talk about me, Michael Cole. Which is, slightly disturbing, to be honest. And Bayley hits a tailbone on the steel steps or on a knee to the face of Bianca Belair there in the corner. Goes for a cover, kick out at 2. As they see in this replay, big knee to the head. Knee to the jaw of Bianca Belair. And now she's tying Bianca Belair's hair to the bottom rope. She's tying the braid to the bottom rope. So Bianca Belair is actually stuck to the bottom rope. She can't untie her hair. She's stuck. She's been handcuffed to the bottom rope. Oh, what happened there? Bayley went for a knee. She somehow missed. And Bayley actually hit her head on the steel steps. So Bayley's now on the outside of the ring. And Bianca Belair's managed to untie herself. So suddenly she's off the bottom rope. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, Belair goes to throw the steel steps at Bayley. Misses. She manages to move out of the way. Avoids catastrophe. It was a fun spot though. Oh my goodness. Bianca Belair hit a baseball slide onto Bayley, and Bayley's head actually hit the steel cell, but she actually went into one of the steel support beams, and now her face is just being thrown across or smushed across the cell structure. As good old JR would say, it's like a cheese grater, but Bayley just bit Bianca Belair. She needs to get a jab. She bit someone. Michael Cole, for about the 100th time, has told him it's legal. It's legal. Pat McAfee's asking if she penetrated skin. Bayley the Vampire. She looks a bit like Mona the Vampire, in fairness. Stomped to the gut by Bayley. Pat McAfee's incredulous that Bayley bit Bianca Belair. He's obviously never seen Luis Suarez play. Or Rudiger. Rudiger bit Pogba, didn't he? Had a little nibble. Bayley's got the kendo stick out. She's telling everyone to be shush. There's nobody there, Bayley. She's got the kendo stick out. Here we go. Oh, smash to the guts. It might be. I think it's 2 kendo sticks taped together. Bayley. Oh, sunset flip into the steel cell. That was nasty. Sunset flip kind of powerbomb into the Hell in the Cell structure. So you see a replay of this. Yes, a sunset flip into the cell. Certainly is what is interesting about these matches is the creativity. When the creativity comes out of all of this, it's a lot of fun. I mean, on an over-under, how many times has Michael Cole told us that things are perfectly legal in this match? Is it legal? Is it perfectly legal? Bayley's got another kendo stick. What's this? She's got a kendo stick taped together. She's got a super long kendo stick taped together. It's shades of her match against Sasha Banks the last time at Hell in a Cell. And here's another one. There's another kendo stick taped together. Bayley's telling Michael Cole to shut up. Michael Cole's explaining it. Michael Cole's saying this is when she's learned from her match last year against Sasha Banks. Bayley just goes, shut up, Michael Cole. They know. They watch me. It's a good point. They do. They need to get... Whenever Bayley retires, gets her on commentary. Just get her on commentary with Michael Cole. That's a reason to watch SmackDown every week. Oh, Bayley just got spine busted through the kendo sticks by Bianca Belair. Belair seems to got a second wind. She's rolling Bayley into the ring. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and Bayley kicks out. That's not going to be enough to defeat the role model. But she set up her own failure. She goes through the kendo sticks that, of course, she set up at ringside. See, spinebuster, bang, through the kendo sticks. Man, that monster just keep burping. It's just good. Belair's got a steel chair. And just bang across the back of Bayley. And suddenly the EST is in control. Still favoring the arm. Good selling by Belair. She's got the steel chair. The steel, is it me? Oh, she charges Bayley in the corner. Bayley gets her feet up, and that steel chair just goes straight into the face of Bianca Belair. As you see a replay of it, bang. Because more so in the chest than the face, it must be said. Pat McAfee standing up at ringside because he's Pat McAfee. He's excited and energized because he's Pat McAfee. And Bayley's going back to the arm. She's trapped the arm in between the steel chair, and now she's just smashing the arm in between that steel chair. And once again, Bayley working over the arm of the EST. Trending #1 in the United States is Hell in a Cell. So people are talking about Hell in a Cell. Did you see the thing saying that pro wrestling fans are the smartest fans out of any sport? All of us pro wrestling fans saw that and felt very justified and very happy about ourselves. And Bayley's going to tie Bianca Belair's braid once again. She tried to tie it on the bottom right before. Now she's tied it to the steel chair. So Bayley's sitting down on the chair. She's going to try and rip the braid off. He's trying to rip the hair off the top of Bianca Belair's head. So Bianca Belair, she's trapped her hair. Yes, her hair is tied to the steel chair. It was tied to the bottom rope earlier, but now it's tied to the steel chair. She's trapped. Oh, big right hand. Big right hand to Bayley. Her hair is still tied to that steel chair. She's got to find a way of untying it like she did earlier. Bayley. Oh, my goodness. Bayley charged, went for a knee, but Belair got the chair up, and Bayley's knees went into the chair. Ooh. Bianca Belair clips Bayley at the knee. Belair's going to go for... Now Belair's going to tie herself to Bayley now. It's all about the hair. It's all about that braid, which I guess makes sense. That's what the story was. Bayley is now tied to Bianca Belair's hair. She's tied her hair around the wrist of Bayley. Yes, I'm not exaggerating. She tied it around the wrist of Bayley. Flips Bayley over. Now she's dragging Bayley to the outside of the ring. Oh, and into the Hell in a Cell structure. And now she's using the kendo stick onto Bayley. Onto the back, onto the thighs. Where's Belair going to take Bayley now? Going to throw Bayley into the cell once again. Of course, Bayley's tied to Bianca Belair. Belair just slapped to the face of Bayley. Snack to the mouth. That was brutal. She's untied herself from Bayley. You can see Bianca Belair's obviously had the old suction cup therapy on her back, it looks like. Bayley's asking to leave. She tells the ref, look, I'm done. Please let me out. Bayley wants to be let out. I don't think that's going to happen, Bayley, unfortunately. Oh, my God. Bianca Belair just shoved Bayley into the cell, kicked her straight into the cell. Oof. Bounces her off the cell once again. Erika Alvarado says, is this the first match? It is indeed. Bianca Belair versus Bayley, Smackdown Women's Championship, opening the show as Bayley just got shoved into the Hell in a Cell structure. Bayley, she's trying to get a ladder. Oh, she's got a ladder from underneath the ring. A ladder. She's shoved it into the gut of Bianca Belair. In fairness, you know, the amount of creative spots they've come up with using Bianca Belair's hair in this match is pretty impressive. It must be said. It is rather impressive. You can see all kinds of stuff inside Hell in a Cell. Fire extinguisher, toolbox, ladder, steel chair, hair. The Fiend, it was a giant mallet. A tug of war over the ladder. And Belair's now going to shove Bayley into the corner. Oof. Sidesteps. Oh, and smashes Bianca Belair's face off the ladder. That is propped up in the corner. So Bayley once again seemingly in control now. She's got the ladder out. What's she planning on doing here? It must be said it's one of those smaller ladders. It looks like is Bianca Belair's hair in between the ladder? We're going to have more ladder spots. Is her hair going to be tied to the ladder this time? I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen a lot of it. Oh, Bayley's looking... Belair's now in the middle of the ladder. She's going to sandwich her. Oh, squishes her. Belair's trapped in the ladder. Bayley squishing Belair in between this ladder. Belair is currently a ladder sandwich. Bianca with a rose plant. Rose plant using the ladder. This could be it. This could be it. Or Bayley might have hurt her knee utilizing the rose plant. But Belair's trying to roll out to the outside of the ring. Well, she doesn't. Bayley catches her. She's going to go for a cover. I think she'll probably kick out here. 1, 2. Ooh, and Belair kicks out. Just enough time to protect the finish. Smart. Just enough time to protect the finish. The injured knee, the roll away, the distance. So you certainly protect yourself. Oh, pinning combination by Bayley. Oh, a roll through and she's holding the ropes. Oh, Bayley nearly got the win there by holding the ropes. She's furious. Don't blame her. Belair and Bayley still going. I mean, this match has been going for, what, 20 minutes at this point. It's certainly been a lengthy opener here. Belair's going to go for a backslide. They're jockeying for a position here, both of them. Bayley goes for... Oh. Belair's going to go for a glam slam. Glam slam. Oh, my goodness. Into the corner. Bayley's face just smashed. Absolutely smashed off that top turnbuckle. That was nasty. Belair is just going to... she's going to do the dumb babyface bump, I think, here. Bayley's been positioned with a ladder on top of her. I think she's going to go for a 450. Bayley's going to go for a 450. And this is going to suck if she lands it, because this is going to hurt. Bianca Belair's going up to the top, right? But she's going, rolls through, doesn't hit it. Thank goodness, that would have hurt. Bianca, senton. Senton onto Bayley, who was on the ladder. Bayley's spine absolutely cracks on that ladder. Well, now what's Bianca Belair thinking? She's extended the ladder. She's going to use it as a weapon for what? I don't know. Oh, she's going to go for KOD onto the ladder. KOD onto the ladder. Oh, my goodness. KOD onto the ladder. That was nasty. That's got to be it. 2, 3. Bianca Belair retains. That KOD onto the ladder was brutal. Oh, my God. KOD on the ladder. My goodness. That was nasty. I hope we get another look of it, because that looked like it sucked for Bayley. KOD onto the ladder. Bianca Belair retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. Good opener, fun opener. Enjoyed that. Bianca Belair, a good first appearance inside Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Women's Champion. But the EST of WWE retains the SmackDown Women's Championship in a fun opener. I enjoyed that one. Bayley is Bayley's so good, isn't she? She really is absolutely world class at what she does. Great wrestler. Puts Bianca Bella over. Tries to get her over to the extent that she can. She can see the finish here. The KOD onto the ladder. Oh my God. I mean, that finish on the ladder, that just sucks. That is just a rough bump. Takes it. I mean, look at that ladder. That ladder is just twisted and broken in half. They're piping in the EST chants inside the Thunderdome. But Bianca Belair gets the victory in what was, again, a very good opening match. Very fun. Enjoyed that one. The question is this the end of this feud now? You would think it probably is going to be. Bayley is seemingly running away from Bianca Belair. She's very, very afraid of Belair. I mean, I guess she did just smash her face on the ladder, so I don't necessarily blame her. Fozo Plays says, Roman versus Ray, Hell in a Cell. That was on Friday. That's not happening. It happened on Friday. Roman Reigns retained the Universal Championship, which obviously was to be expected. But Bianca Belair retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. You know what's so difficult is is tweeting, live streaming, and at the same time. I'm just it's barely inside Hell in a Cell. See, this is how terrible I am at multitasking. I just stop talking, which is great during a live watch long, isn't it? As JBL, I love about the PSA that they do when JBL just is like, I just want to go to the bar and have a game and I guess bully my co-workers, right? But that was an excellent match. I enjoyed that immensely. Bianca Belair retains the SmackDown Women's Championship inside Hell in a Cell against Bayley. What did you guys think of that one? If you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We are about 15 subscribers away from 4,000. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the button if you enjoyed that opener. Super chats are also open. Click on the $sign. You can contribute and support the channel via that way. Any donations or support is very much appreciated. As backstage, we're in an interview with Bianca Belair once again. And she's talking about her experience inside Hell in a Cell. She says it's brutal. It's brutal inside Hell in a Cell. And she says that Bayley kicked her butt. But she will never forgive her for that. And that's an interview by Bianca Belair. I don't know what that was. And of course, the main event tonight, inside Hell in a Cell, is Drew McIntyre versus the almighty WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley. And Drew McIntyre needs to win. So we are only 14 subscribers. 14 subscribers away from the magic 4,000 number. And Bobby Lashley once again is backstage with his female posse, the almighty Godfather. He is the modern day Charles White. And I really don't like this booking of Bobby Lashley. I would prefer Bobby Lashley just to be, to be the almighty WWE champion. I don't care for him to be all aboard the train and all that kind of stuff. Can he just be Bobby Lashley? Don't be distracted. Oh, no, it's Alexa Bliss. Here we go. It's Alexa Bliss. She's in her playground. She's on her swing. No Lily, thank God. She says, it's so nice for you to join me inside Hell in a Cell. Alexa Bliss says, Lily's still in timeout. Good. She talks about how naughty her opponent, Shayna Baszler, has been. And that Shayna brought all the negativity upon herself. She says, be careful what you wish for and expect the unexpected. She says, if you knock on my door, you never know who or what is going to answer. Are we going to get, maybe a little bit of the Fiendess? We're going to get the Fiendess Alexa Bliss? We're going to see a different version of Alexa Bliss tonight? I certainly hope so. Maybe some character development, maybe. But we've got another Smackdown match coming up next. It's going to be Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. Ooh, this is exciting. 2 Smackdown matches starting off. Rollins and Cesaro. Janu says CM Punk should return. How massive would that be? I mean, it would be big. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately, Janu. Fozo Plays says Drew will win, but will be the WWE champion. Well, maybe. Maybe. As we're seeing a promo package for Rollins versus Cesaro. So Rollins and Cesaro is up next. I really enjoyed their match at Hell in a Cell, it must be said. I thought it was excellent. Hopefully they can do the same tonight. Hell in a Cell, doesn't Hell in a Cell already feel so long ago? It still does feel so long ago. Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania. But even then, seeing the crowd there is so great, isn't it? So great. So we're seeing Seth Rollins when he attacked Cesaro last month at WrestleMania Backlash. Of course, continuing this feud. This was after Cesaro's match against Roman Reigns in the main event for the Universal Championship. He just lost. Who do we think is going to win this one? Do we think Cesaro or Seth Rollins? Of course, it means no Super Seth Rollins suit tonight. I asked this on the preview earlier, and I think it's a good point to mention again. What is the Seth Rollins character right now? Can anyone define what the Seth Rollins character is? Because I can't. He's no longer the Monday Night Messiah. He's a guy that wears crazy suits. And I guess his suits are just as crazy as he is. Is that the Seth Rollins character? My prediction, though, is that Seth Rollins will win this one because I think Seth Rollins is going to be facing Edge at SummerSlam. That is my prediction. John Lammy says, come on, Drew. Fozo Plays says, Claymore. So we've obviously got the Drew McIntyre posse in the house tonight in the live chat. Oh, yeah, we're reliving the Ding Dong Hello segment between Rollins and Bayley where they just cackled at each other for 25 minutes. And when Seth Rollins obviously was attacked by Cesaro. Attacked by Cesaro so much that his trousers came down, which is odd. Which is odd. I've never been in a fight so much that my trousers came off. That's, again, a bit of a strange one. Bang. I guess that's what happens when you wear crazy suits, baby. Janu says, watching from Africa, Namibia. That's crazy. What a small world we live in. I mean, obviously, I know that's miles and miles away, but it's always mad that I'm over here in the UK and there's people just around the world watching. The power of the internet. The power of the internet and the power of YouTube. Well, I appreciate you joining us, Janu, tonight. As Cesaro is just about to make his entrance for his match against Seth Rollins. And Cesaro, this is going to be his first match since WrestleMania Backlash last month as well, of course. There he is, the Swiss Superman, the Swiss Cyborg, whatever you want to call him. Out comes Cesaro. Mick Foley's favorite wrestler, apparently. Oh, Seth Rollins attacks him from behind. Seth Rollins attacks Cesaro during Cesaro's entrance, but Cesaro's managed to get on top straight away. Oh, Seth Rollins thrown into the barricade by Cesaro. Rollins charging Cesaro once again. Cesaro throws Rollins into the ring, and I don't know if the match is going to start. What's going on here? And Rollins and Cesaro brawling. Match hasn't even started yet. Cesaro's going to take the jacket off of Rollins. Referee gains an element of control. Looks like we're going to get the opening bow, and this match is going to start off hot. Here we go. Match is up and underway. Oh, and a big slam starting off by Cesaro. Ground and pound by Cesaro. Forearms to the face. Rollins and Cesaro trading shots already. Rollins whips Cesaro off the ropes. And a big back body drop by Cesaro. Cesaro is on fire. He's on control. He's got the tape over his shoulder. Of course, selling the injury. It wouldn't be Cesaro if he didn't have tape on his shoulder. You remember when he had tape on his shoulder for like 18 months? Cesaro, so ridiculous. Rollins is on the apron. Cesaro hits the ropes and a big boot, sending Rollins to the outside into the barricade. Cesaro looks to be all fired up. Again, Seth Rollins and Cesaro had one of the better matches at WrestleMania this year. So we didn't get to hear the great Seth Rollins entrance music tonight. Oh, big uppercut by Cesaro to Rollins on the outside. Rollins, despite attacking Cesaro, he's not in control at all, is he? Cesaro is up to the top rope. Top rope, big double axe handle. Shades of Macho Man Randy Savage. Goes to the cover. Rollins kicks out at one. Oh, big forearm to the back by Cesaro. Ooh, right hand once again by Cesaro. Continued shots to the gut. Throws Rollins into the corner. Oh, bounces his head off the turnbuckle there. That's crazy. That's, again, Cesaro was attacked by Rollins from behind during the entrance, and the psychology of this match is that Cesaro's in complete control, which is certainly not usually what you would see. Another big uppercut by Cesaro to Seth Rollins there. And another one. Right hands, uppercuts. Rollins just getting the how kicked out of him, or kicked to the gut by Rollins, though. And there you go. Rollins sends Cesaro into the second turnbuckle, the middle turnbuckle. And now just dragging Cesaro's head across the top rope. Classic heel pro wrestling move there. Cesaro grabbing the hair. Grabbing the hair of Rollins. Oh, a thumb to the eye. Thumb to the eye by Rollins. Cesaro looks like he can't see. Rollins DDT to the Swiss Superman. Goes for a cover, hooks the leg. Cesaro kicks out at one. But finally, Seth Rollins may have just suddenly got in control here. What the hell's going on? The lights are just going crazy there. Why are the lights go crazy? That's super distracting. They did a reset when they were showing the Hell in the Cell structure, and then the lights just went mental. It's like, okay. But suddenly Rollins is in control. Despite not being in control for a while, suddenly he is in control. And Rollins certainly slowing the pace here. Cesaro favouring the eye after he got that thumb to the eye by Seth Rollins earlier on in the match. And Rollins is talking trash, saying one touch. Heavy hands is Seth Rollins. Oh, knee to the gut of Cesaro. Continued knee to the gut. Once again, another knee to the gut by Seth Rollins. Rollins looks like he's setting up for a suplex of some kind. Oh, blocked though by Cesaro. Oh, look at that power. Deadlift suplex. Incredible. Deadlift suplex by Cesaro. Absolutely unbelievable. One of the strongest guys in WWE, bar none, is Cesaro. Absolutely fantastic. He's so good. He is so good. And Mick Foley was getting on his hands and knees, telling Vince McMahon to push Cesaro. And I was saying he has been pushed. Look at this. Just Rollins doesn't jump. Rollins doesn't support Cesaro in that. He just deadlifted Seth Rollins. Absolutely incredible. Oh, back body drop. Cesaro goes over the top rope, hit hard on the ground. Rollins with a knee to the side of the head, glancing blow to the side of the head of Cesaro, jumps off the ring apron. And Rollins now looks to once again be in control. Seth rolls Cesaro into the ring. Dakota Totsuki says, hi, how you doing, Dakota? Thanks for joining us tonight. Rollins with another knee to the side of the head. Another glancing blow, this time inside the ring. Springboard knee, goes for the cover, kicks out at 2. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. 13 subscribers away from that magic 4,000 subscriber number. See if we can hit that tonight. Of course, we've got the watch along and we've got the post-show stream as well. If you're enjoying Hell in a Cell, smash a like on the like button too. Now, Rollins has been totally in control since really hitting that thumb to the eye to Cesaro earlier on in the match. Oh, big right hand. Square in the face of Cesaro. As the pace of the match certainly slowed down considerably here. Oh, Rollins just with the fist to the eye of Cesaro there. Of course, Rollins is familiar with eye injuries, blinded the likes of Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black. Oh, what an uppercut by Cesaro. Oh, big right hand. Oh, Cesaro's just getting PO'd by the right hands by Rollins. Right hands. Oh, Cesaro keeps getting back up. Another uppercut. Uppercuts from both arms. Continued uppercuts. Pounds Rollins into the corner. Yes, uppercuts, kicks to the gut. Cesaro's all fired up. But Cesaro's still favoring the eye. Still can't see. Oh, it's a chop to the throat. Oh, is he? Oh, my goodness. What was that? I thought he was going to go for the UFO. I hope he goes to the UFO again. That's such an awesome move. He's grabbed Rollins by this black hand. Oh, he's taken the glove off. Took the glove off of Seth Rollins. So he's shoving it down the throat. It's like a reverse mankind. It's like a mandible claw. Ripcord clothesline by Cesaro. Goes for a cover. 2. Oh, Rollins kicks out. Dakota Totsky says, good, and you are welcome. I appreciate that. Fozo plays I knew sub. I appreciate that, Fozo. You can join Fozo by subscribing. Bottom right-hand corner. As we are on the road to 4,000 subscribers. As I mentioned, only 13 subscribers away from that 4,000, which is madness. Absolute madness. Oh, big uppercut by Cesaro. Sends Rollins into the corner. Goes for another one. Another uppercut. Cesaro's uppercuts are just on fire. Oh. Cesaro went for a discus clothesline. Rollins hit a kick to the gut. Oh, big power slam by Cesaro. Goes for another cover. Rollins kicks out again. What a match this is. Again, I've mentioned before, there is no doubt in my mind that the matches were going to be good tonight. Because that's what WWE is. The pay-per-views are always good. The stories suck. The pay-per-views are great. As both men look to make it back to their feet. Rollins just trying to get away from Cesaro. Just trying to breathe as well. Oh, Rollins lands on his feet. Oh, he's going to go for the neutralizer. Oh, back body drop. Lands on the apron, does Cesaro. Right hand to Rollins. Cesaro going to the top. What's he planning here? Oh, Rollins floats up to the top. Rollins on the second rope. Cesaro on the top. Looking like we're going to go for a superplex. Maybe he might follow through into that Falcon Arrow. Cesaro, oh, a headbutt. Headbutt to Rollins, who now falls down. Cesaro's going to the top rope. What's he planning? Cross body. Roll through. Referee. 2. Oh, referee wasn't in the best position there. On the pinfall attempt by Rollins. Rollins, oh, Cesaro with an elbow to the jaw of Rollins. Oh, step up enziguri by Rollins this time. How quick is this match? What a pace to this one. Rollins with a bit of a discus forearm. Square in the jaw of Cesaro. Going for a neck breaker. Oh, forearm right to the back of the head, back of the neck by Cesaro. God, the sound of that one. This might be it. Rolls over Cesaro, shoots the half. 1, 2, and Cesaro kicks out at 2. These guys just won't stop. I've seen a replay of when Orange just smashed Cesaro in the back of the head. Rollins shaking his head. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Rollins talking some trash once again to Cesaro. Rollins telling Cesaro that he's not better than him. Rollins telling Cesaro he hasn't earned a damn thing. Obviously not a Cesaro fan at all. Just ripped the tape off the shoulder of Cesaro. Now what's he going for? Is he going for a crossface? No, he's going for a Fujiwara armbar. Fujiwara armbar onto Cesaro. Cesaro might tap here. Cesaro's not submitting. He's trying to fight through it. Gets back to a vertical base. Goes for a side slam. Rollins counters. Now he's going to go for a Falcon Arrow. Beautiful Falcon Arrow by Rollins. Goes into the cover. This might be it. Cesaro kicks out at 2 once again. Rollins, oh, I think he went for a stomp. Oh, and another kick to the back of the head by Cesaro. A couple of shots to the back of the head by Rollins on Cesaro so far. Goes for the cover and Cesaro kicks out once again. Michael Cole's losing his mind on commentary. Michael Cole's all fired up on commentary. As you see this other shot to the back of the head by Rollins to Cesaro. Rollins selling the frustration of not being able to put away Cesaro here. Remember, Rollins can't beat Cesaro. That's the whole point of this whole thing, right? Couldn't beat him at WrestleMania. Was jealous that Cesaro had the match against Roman Reigns. As Pat McAfee still standing up at ringside because that's what Pat McAfee does. Pat McAfee gets all excited at ringside. Rollins all went for the stomp. Another kick to the gut. A kick to the chest by Rollins now. Another kick to the gut. Down goes Cesaro. He's going to go for a stomp and a discus clothesline. Shades of Brody Lee. Yeah. Rollins, Cesaro, both down. Referee's going to start the 10 count, it looks like, soon. Rollins trying to shake the cobwebs out. As you see the discus clothesline by Cesaro. Or is Rollins still looking frustrated? Cesaro's just trying to get his bearings to figure out where he is. Cesaro stalking Rollins. Oh, he's going to go for a spine buster. Here we go. He's going to go for the Cesaro swing. And here comes Rollins. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Didn't beat the record of 21. He's going to transition into the sharpshooter, shades of his former tag team partner Tyson Kidd, and sits down. Sharpshooter is locked in on Seth Rollins. Rollins is selling a lot of pain. Is he going to be able to make it to the bottom ropes? Rollins is scratching. He's clawing. Cesaro is going to transition into a crossface. Beautiful. Rollins manages to roll through, but so does Cesaro, and the crossface is fully locked in now. Cesaro's fully got it locked in. The Swiss clock face. There you go. Cuckoo clock face. Oh, Rollins rolls through. Oh, Cesaro nearly got him as a pinfall. And Cesaro's going to counter back into the sharpshooter. Sits down once again. Beautiful transition by Cesaro. Sharpshooter's locked in on Seth Rollins. Rollins is in pain. He's trying to make it to the bottom rope. Excellent match between the two so far. Cesaro's grabbing the arm once again of Rollins. What's he planning here? Cesaro just looks pretty pissed off. Oh my God. He just stomped on the arm of Rollins. He's going to do it again. Oh, second time. Just stomping on the arms. A taste of his own medicine. Oh, inside package. Inside package by Rollins, and he gets the victory. Wow, he stole one. Rollins gets the win. Came out of nowhere. Rollins won. Cesaro was doing the stomps onto the arms, like 2 or 3 stomps in a row, and he goes to transition into the sharpshooter once again. Rollins transitions into an inside cradle, and Rollins gets the win. Rollins wins. Came out of nowhere. He just got by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins wins the match. Well, that certainly came out of nowhere. Excellent match, and in fairness, as I'm not a massive fan of the whole inside cradle finishes, but this was well done. Looks like he was going to step through once again into the sharpshooter. Rollins rolls through into the inside cradle. Rollins gets the victory, which was to be expected, but I think it also kind of protects Cesaro, it must be said. Rollins finally gets the victory over Cesaro, so I guess it's 1 apiece on the scoreboard. But Rollins gets the victory, and he's trying to jog off. He can't even run. But Rollins wins. Rollins limping out of the Thunderdome victorious, but finally getting a victory over Seth Rollins. Dragonstorm1234 says the most devastating move of all pro wrestling. It's true. The inside cradle, the roll-up. I'm just surprised we didn't get a distraction or musical distraction or something like that. But Seth Rollins beat Cesaro finally in what was another very good match. But these to be expected. Every match in this show is probably going to be good because that's what these pay-per-views are. WWE, for all of the faults they've had, and they've had quite a few of them during the pandemic era of WWE, since they moved to the Thunderdome, it's difficult to say a bad pay-per-view that they've done. I mean, all of their pay-per-views have actually been very good. They have been very good inside the Thunderdome. It's got to be said. The issue always has been with WWE is their TV shows. Their stories are awful. I mean, absolutely terrible. But the wrestling, the matches, on their pay-per-views have always been very good. As we're seeing a WWE live event advert, and all of those cities flying at your face. It was a bit distracting, to be honest. As we see another Peacock advert here. I mean, I feel so bad for all of you lot in the United States that have to utilize Peacock, because I only ever hear bad things about it. Now, obviously, I don't know if it has improved. I mean, in fairness, some of the content it has, right? Obviously, it's got the network, but it's also got The Office, Parks and Rec, some films on there, I guess, as well. I mean, it's not as if they've got bad content on there. From what I gather, and if there's anyone from the US on the stream, you can let me know in the live chat. From what I gather, the streaming service sucks. As we're seeing a Money in the Bank promo. We're seeing a Money in the Bank promo, of course, next month in front of a live crowd, which is very exciting. Next month, honestly, it's so exciting. We've got Smackdown on the Friday. Then we've got Slammiversary on the Saturday. Money in the Bank on the Sunday. It's going to be such a great month of pro wrestling. It's going to be amazing. And I, for one, cannot wait. Sunday, July 18. The night prior Sunday is Saturday, rather, July 17. That's Slammiversary. So, as Pat McAfee and Michael Cole again, it looks like we're going to have another Smackdown match. What's this one going to be then? Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn? We're just going to get all of the Smackdown matches first? I think it is going to be. I think it's going to be Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn next, probably. 3 Smackdown matches in a row. What a strange way to start off this event. So we're going to basically get a Smackdown half. We're going to get a Smackdown half and a Raw half. Oh, we're off to the kickoff show panel. So maybe we'll get a Raw match. So we're talking to the kickoff show panel, which is a bit odd, unless they've got something planned here. So obviously the matches we've had so far, we've had Bianca Belair retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. We've also had Seth Rollins just defeat Cesaro. As Jerry the King Lawler is there inside the Thunderdome. Fully vaccinated Jerry the King Lawler. He revealed that WWE is encouraging their talents to get vaccinated. John Bradshaw Layfield there and Peter Rosenberg. I mean, I think one of the perfect people to win the Money in the Bank would be Cesaro, right? Cesaro, Money in the Bank winner. That just seems perfect. So for some reason yet to be explained, we're having a big in-depth segment with the pre-show panel, which always screams that we're just trying to fill time. We don't know what to do. Match coming up next is going to be right. This probably makes sense. So we've got Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler up next. I think the reason why we had that whole thing with the pre-show panel there is because they're planning something at ringside. They're probably figuring out some kind of special effects or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if this match is pre-taped, if they're going to be doing all kinds of crazy and weirdness stuff. So we're going to have Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler coming up next. Lord knows that could be so terrible. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, only 13. Yes, 13 subscribers away from 4,000. Dragonstorm1234 says, all things considered, Impact has been amazing during the pandemic. Speaking of Kenny Omega, he's making a UK appearance later this year. I'm guessing that's some kind of convention, right? Jason says, I'm in Pennsylvania and Peacock was down 15 minutes at 7 p.m. Eastern. Seriously? This is the thing, isn't it, with Peacock? Again, I've actually considered myself so lucky that over here in the UK, I guess around the world, unless you're in the United States, around the world, we still have the old version of the network. And as flawed as the network initially was, I don't think anyone, especially towards the end of the last recent few years, is that the network, it works pretty well. I mean, there was a period of time in 2019 where I think they switched servers or something, and there was a few glitches at that time. But the network, for what it was, again, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. You could search for stuff, and all of the content was on there. And since moving it to Peacock, and suddenly stuff gets censored, stuff gets taken off. I mean, part of the fun of the network rather was that everything was on there. You know, warts and all. You were licensing the library that WWE had to offer. You could watch anything. And since then, again, you're getting stuff taken off of Peacock. You're getting, I think they're saying that the search function isn't great. And certainly there's a lot of content that was on the network that hasn't been added to Peacock. And I think a lot of fans are disappointed with that, you know. But WWE doesn't care. They're just all about that money, right? Thankfully, we haven't got Peacock over here as of yet. Lord, the thing is as well, we just got enough streaming services, right? I mean, I know that everyone wants part of Netflix's pie, essentially, but I remember the day when it was literally it was just Netflix. Netflix was the streaming service. Now it's it's Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Peacock, I'm sure Hulu. I mean, it's on and on. Over here in the UK, they tried to do one, I think it's still around, called BritBox, where it was like BBC and ITV, and I don't think anyone bought that because why would you? Why would you? There's Apple TV as well, isn't there? There's Apple TV. I didn't purchase that. Discovery Plus, I do have. The reason I have that is because it comes free with, like, if you buy an Apple TV, like, box thing, it comes free with that. So I do have that. Paramount Plus, I don't even know if it has launched over here in the UK, but it goes to show, doesn't it, that there are so many of these streaming services. It's just ridiculous. But there's Shayna Baszler. She's backstage with Nia Jax and Reginald, Vince McMahon's favorite superstar, Reginald. Shayna Baszler. How's the interviewer? Don't say Lily's name around her. I don't blame her because, I mean, I don't want to hear anything about that again. Shayna Baszler says the Queen of Spades ends it. Nia and Reginald wish Shayna good luck. Shayna Baszler goes to kiss Shayna Baszler's hand. He just gets a slap in the face. Deserved. Just slap him off the television. Ryan says, here we go downhill. Exactly. You're not wrong, Ryan. You get the feeling this is like one of those situations where it's a bit like a car crash and that you can't look away because it's just going to be so grotesque. But, I mean, remember this was Shayna Baszler that was like NXT Women's Champion for like 500 days or something ridiculous. Now she's teaming with Nia Jax and Reginald, who is a sommelier, a wine expert for Carmella. It's just, But here's Jimmy Smith, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. But this is just going to be terrible, isn't it? I don't want to be, I don't want to be like negative or that, but it's just going to be awful, isn't it? It's just going to be so bad. Get ready for Alexa Bliss. Oh, we're going to get evil version of Alexa Bliss, are we? Her sort of evil side isn't as distinguished, though, is it? You've got sort of Alexa Playground plus... There she is. Here's Alexa Bliss. But it's not super evil. Like, this is the thing as well. What worked with The Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray Wyatt is that you had distinct different characters. You had Bray Wyatt, who was Firefly Funhouse, and then you had The Fiend, which was evil side. Alexa Bliss is just a mashup of it all. Maybe we get The Fiend return. If we get The Fiend return, I'll take that. But Alexa Bliss is in the ring now. Again, part of the positive with Alexa Bliss, remember, Alexa Bliss turned on The Fiend at WrestleMania for Lily. Lily's in timeout, and we haven't seen The Fiend since. Bow's about to ring. GG Matt says, appreciate your positivity, but these two definitely deserve better. Alexa Bliss used to be a goddess. I mean, again, if this is my positivity, Matt, I'm with you. I'm with you. Shayna's a badass. Shayna's a killer. She does not deserve to be being chased around by a stuffed doll. The bell's rung, and... Oh, here we go. Oh, Reginald gets up on the apron. Shayna Baszler clotheslines Alexa Bliss. I hope we're not going to get any more of this hypnotism by Shayna Baszler and Reginald. This hypnotism nonsense that was ongoing by them. The right hands in the corner just seem to annoy Alexa Bliss. Shayna Baszler now kicks to the gut of Alexa Bliss once again. Stomping a mud hole is Shayna, walking it dry. Alexa Bliss is again just looks to be smiling, rolls through. And Alexa Bliss is now doing the weird sort of crab walk again. But again, it's funny because it's a Bray Wyatt ripoff. It's just a copy of Bray Wyatt's gimmick, but Bray Wyatt's not involved. Kick to the hamstrings by Alexa Bliss. Knees to the back of Shayna Baszler. Alexa Bliss, flipping senton onto Baszler, goes for the cover. Oof. I don't know what Reginald's doing. Reginald's trying to get up on the apron. Now he's covering his face because, of course, he can be hypnotized by Alexa Bliss. What a load of nonsense. Honestly, he's not willing to look Alexa Bliss into the eye because I guess he will turn to stone like Medusa in, was that Greek mythology or whatever it is? Oh, what a load of just... When you say it out loud, jumping knee strike by Shayna Baszler. Some pro wrestling might actually break out here in a second, guys. Fingers crossed. Alexa Bliss is now laughing after that knee to the face. Shayna looks just annoyed. I don't blame her. She probably just realized and remembered the creative for this match. Gut-wrench suplex. Beautiful gut-wrench suplex by Shayna Baszler. Referee counts. Alexa Bliss kicks out. Reginald, again, is refusing to make eye contact with Alexa Bliss during this. Now, what's Baszler going for here? Goes for, it looks to be like a version of a key lock or a Kimura. Oh, that just looks nasty. Look at Alexa Bliss's arm there. It's not a full Kimura. She's utilizing, again, sort of leveraging the wrist, it looks like. But it doesn't seem to be affecting Alexa Bliss that much. I'm not really sure what she's going for there. Baszler now going for, once again. She's trying to go for, look at that. She's bending the wrist backwards of Alexa Bliss. Oh. And Shayna Baszler just with a foot onto the face of Alexa Bliss there. Alexa Bliss is trying to bridge out of it. See, this is what we need. A bit of pro wrestling. Alexa Bliss, she's no monster. Look. Stomping on the head and the arm. She's going to do it again. She's going to stomp on the arm. Stomps on the arm of Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss is now selling it. She's crying. She is vulnerable. You can actually hurt her. I'm telling you now, if Lily comes out or something to save Alexa Bliss, I'm just going to scream. Right, suddenly Alexa Bliss is now laughing. She's laughing. She enjoys the pain. Shayna Baszler is now bending the arm once again. Bending it around like it's a pretzel. She's going to go for the wrist attack again. I don't know what is going on at this point. Now Alexa Bliss is now just gritting her teeth. She's telling Alexa Bliss to look at her. Oh, good God. She's going to do the weird hypnotism stuff again. Here we go. She let go because she looked at Alexa Bliss because Alexa Bliss can control people with her mind. What on earth is going on here? Alexa Bliss, there's press. Now right hands. Alexa Bliss now just screaming at Baszler. Going to go for a DDT. Spikes her. Good sow. But by Shayna Baszler. Goes for a cover. Baszler kicks out, thankfully. Knee to the face by Alexa Bliss. Bliss, drop kick to the side. Baszler rolls out to the outside of the ring. Alexa Bliss is now staring at Nia Jax. I'm laughing because the stupid gimmick of she's locked eyes. Oh no, she's going to hypnotize through telekinesis. I think Alexa Bliss. Oh, for goodness sake. Alexa Bliss is controlling Nia Jax like some kind of voodoo thing. She's locked eyes. She's lifted her arm, which is now lifting the arm of Nia Jax. She just made Nia Jax slap Reginald through telekinesis. Oh, for good. What the fuck? I try my best not to swear. Alexa Bliss just screamed at Nia Jax, which caused Nia Jax to scream. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's so stupid. Alexa Bliss is going to go for Sister Abigail into a DDT. This might be it. I don't know what I'm watching here. Oh, Nia Jax isn't hypnotized anymore, guys. That's a positive. Oh, Alexa Bliss is doing mind control. This is just ridiculous. Twisted Bliss from the top rope onto Shayna Baszler. This is going to be it. And Alexa Bliss gets the victory. We just watched freaking mind control in WWE. Oh, my goodness. Mind control by Alexa Bliss. And she screamed at Nia Jax, which made Nia Jax scream. This nonsense continues. Fozo plays, you can swear. I would, but I don't want to get demonetized. But it's awful. It's just... Oh. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. That was a hot mess. I hate this gimmick. I don't care for this gimmick. I'm not against supernatural stuff when it was done, occasionally with The Undertaker or Kane or even The Fiend. I draw the line at freaking mind control. I draw the line at mind control and voodoo. It's like Papa Shango, but terrible. She controlled Nia Jax via mind control and via, if you look into apparently now, Alexa Bliss, if you look into the eyes of her, she can control you. Who on earth is coming up with this? When is this going to end? We've got live crowds coming soon. This is meant to be, women's evolution. Triple H, the best females in WWE. They want to work in WWE. The best females in the world work here. What, they come here to be controlled by voodoo? Are you kidding me? Seriously. Oh yeah, the best females in the world want to come here. We're not going to do evolution. We already did it before because we're too busy doing mind control and voodoo on pay-per-view. Oh yeah, the best females in the world. They really want to come here. They really want to work in WWE. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? There are so many females on the independent scene now watching Hell in a Cell right now. Going to tell you what, my aim is to get to WWE and have mind control done on me by Alexa Bliss on pay-per-view. Ugh. I mean, just where'd you go from this? That was objectively bad. That was objectively bad. And the only positive is no Lily. If we're going to try and find positives, it was. Oh, I can't. I can swear a little bit. It was shit, is what it was. Absolute garbage. Yeah, and what's great is now they go from that. They go from that, and then they'll go to the ESPN. They'll go to the ESPYs. Vote for us for the ESPYs. No, maybe don't, because you just gave us a load of rubbish on television. Oh yeah, go watch us for the ESPYs. Go vote for us for the ESPYs. Pat McAfee's up for an ESPY. I don't think the last segment is, because the last segment was awful. It's going to be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn next. I guess just to wash the taste out of our mouth after what that was. It's funny because I was mentioning earlier that obviously I got my first jab earlier. I got my first dose today, and that, you know, no side effects, felt completely fine. To be honest, watching that Shayna Baszler Alexa Bliss match is the closest I've actually felt to actually vomiting, and that had nothing to do with the jab. That had to do with actually the program I was watching at the time. If you do want to subscribe though, bottom right hand corner, as we're only 13 subscribers away from 4,000. Oh, that was. Oh, God, it was awful. And to be honest, how low is the bar then? How low is the bar at this point that I can see on social media? And again, it's difficult to really judge what's going on social media because you're doing the watch along and you're interacting with the live comments, you're doing all this kind of stuff at the same time. But how low is the bar, realistically, that I'm seeing some people on social media saying that, well, at least there was no Lily. At least there was no stuffed doll. That's your positive? It was bad. It was crap. It was rubbish. Get rid of it. And again, I said this before, is that live fans are returning. You really genuinely think, seriously, that a live crowd is going to put up with that? A live crowd will boo that out of the building. A live crowd will just say that is the worst thing they've seen. They will boo it. You know, if this was in Puerto Rico, they'd be throwing batteries at it, or, you know, jugs of piss is what they used to do. Ah, it's bad. Here comes Kevin Owens. I wish I could throw batteries at Lily from here. Maybe it's too far, but it's not real. Doesn't matter. So we've only got, a couple of matches left, really. We've had Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler. We've had the SmackDown Women's Championship match. We've had Rollins versus Cesaro. So we've got Owens versus Zayn, the Raw Women's Championship match, and the WWE Championship match. So we're making good time. GG Matt says, needs more Lumberjack Zombies at this point. Oh, I just don't know. The bell rings, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens once again are fighting again. God, there was a lot of camera cuts there by WWE. Someone's just got their finger on the WWE director change camera button, honestly. Oh, right hand by Owens to Zayn. Forearm by Owens. If you're Kevin Owens and you're Sami Zayn and you're watching the Shayna Baszler Alexa Bliss match backstage, you must be looking at that going, oh, for God's sake, we've got to follow that. Not in the sense that it's difficult to follow, but imagine there was a live crowd there, and this is stuff they've got to factor in. They would look at that and say, we have to follow that. Imagine trying to get the crowd back. Seriously, imagine trying to get the crowd back after that one. The crowd would be dead. Or they would have just left the arena at that point. Because they would have been like, oh, I'll get my money back. Refund. Absolutely ridiculous. Kevin Owens a big chop to Sami Zayn in the corner. Sami Zayn, God, he's bouncing around all over the ring. He's bumping like Shawn Michaels against Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam. Double stomp to the midsection by Owens to Zayn. Big forearm by KO to Sami Zayn. Ryan says we should have all taken a jab just to put us to sleep. Well, it was a bad match. I don't know about being put to sleep by a jab. Maybe extreme, Ryan, but I understand your sentiment. So the story in this one between KO and Sami Zayn is that Kevin Owens may be having some trouble breathing because, of course, on SmackDown on Friday, he got the Nigerian nail twice to the throat. It will always be the Samoan spike. It would not be the Nigerian nail. Put some respect on Umaga's name. Kevin Owens kicked Sami Zayn to the hamstring. It looked like he just kicked him straight into the balls. Owens making his way back into the ring, and Sami Zayn just nearly a kick to the throat. So how many times have Owens and Zayn faced off in WWE at this point? This is like, what? This has got to be like the 15th time or something ridiculous. Oh, listen to that chop by Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn. Zayn whips Owen off the ropes. A big clothesline. Clothesline. It was a clothesline to the throat of Kevin Owens. Oof. Kevin Owens going to go for a suplex on Sami Zayn, looks like, though. Both men blocking the respective suplex attempts. Owens, bounces Sami Zayn off the top rope. KO charges Zayn in the corner. Big clothesline. So Owens going to go for a cannonball attempt any second now. Here we go. Cannonball. Oh, God. Big cannonball, that one. I mean, usually Owens kind of rolls into it. He just jumped onto Sami Zayn. That was nasty. Goes for a cover. Zayn's going to kick out at 2. So Zayn is trying to... Where's Zayn? Is he trying to leave? Zayn trying to leave. Kevin Owens grabbing Zayn by the mouth, it looks like. He's fish hooking him. Oof. Zayn hung up Owens on the second rope there. Continuing the story about Owens struggling to breathe because of the Nigerian nail. I might see a dive here by Sami Zayn. Bounces off the ropes. Big dive over the top rope. Lands onto Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens looks like he might be hurt. What's going on? KO's running around the ring. He might dislocate his shoulder or something. Sami Zayn dives over the top rope. And he landed on Owens' shoulder. I reckon he might dislocate his shoulder. Is that legit? He's got to check on Kevin Owens. This might be legitimate. Oh, and a big boot to the shoulder. Now Sami Zayn just stamping on the shoulder. Is it legitimate? I don't know if it's legit. Did Pat McAfee just referenced Bob Lazar? Bob Lazar. We got an Area 51 thing. So basically what it looked like is Sami Zayn dived over the top rope and he landed onto the shoulder of Kevin Owens. Immediately, Owens got up and started walking around the ring and clutching his arm, and he did not move it, and it looked like he had dislocated his shoulder. The referee definitely was checking in a couple of times. I don't know if he has legitimately dislocated it, though. I mean, if he had dislocated his shoulder, I think the referee would have just called it off. But Owens struggling to breathe. It looks like he might have dislocated his shoulder as well. Or he's favoring his wrist or his shoulder or something like that. Kevin Owens trying to fight back. Double leg takedown. Only one arm though. Again, the reason I think it might be legitimate is you can tell the referee is actively communicating with the back. The way you can tell the referee is actively communicating with the back is he's got a way of talking to the back whereby if he clicks something on his bout, is obviously he's got an earpiece and he can speak to people in the back. It looks like he's obviously got some kind of an injury. I think that shoulder injury is legit. He hits Sami Zayn with a clothesline and rolls back in the ring. As we're seeing this clothesline that we just saw on the outside of the ring. Owens, he went for a senton. Sammy Guevara got his knees up. That was brutal. Referee's now doing the count once again. I see Owens off the apron. Goes for a swanton or senton off the apron. Lands onto the knees of Sami Zayn. Zayn's going to go for a blue thunder bomb. 2. Kevin Owens kicks out. You think realistically, if Owens has got a dislocated shoulder, he's taking bumps like a blue thunder bomb. My God. Owens still selling the shoulder or selling the arm like it's still dislocated or trying to plop it back in. Just a crossface to the side of the head of Kevin Owens by Sami Zayn. I really do hope he hasn't hurt his shoulder. That would suck massively. Because the issue is, it's not like back in the day. Back in the day, if you dislocate your shoulder, pop it back in, you carry on wrestling the next night. Nowadays, we know way more about shoulder joints. If you dislocate your shoulder, you rip a load of tendons and ligaments coming out. That's how you tear labrums, that's how you tear all that kind of stuff. So dislocated shoulders are no good. Owens beginning to fight back. Owens just doing big boots. Goes for a stunner or counters into, oh my goodness, reverse exploder suplex. Drops Kevin Owens on his head. This has got to be it. And Kevin Owens is able to get his shoulder up, his good shoulder up. Sami Zayn attempting to fight back on Kevin Owens here. So he went for a stunner and he just got that reverse exploder suplex. Man. To be honest, I hope that Kevin Owens legitimately hasn't hurt his shoulder, because they would have worked me and I'd have said, congrats, that was awesome. Sami Zayn just jumping all over the head of Kevin Owens. That was nasty. Well, Sami Zayn, he looks like he's got a busted lip, or he's bleeding from the mouth. Go Kevin, it's a stunner on the outside. KO, it's a stunner onto Zayn on the outside of the ring. Now can KO make it back in the ring? We see a replay here. Owens, it's a stunner to Zayn on the outside of the ring. Ref is still doing the count. Count of 7. Is Zayn going to make it back in the ring? 8. 9. Is Zayn going to make it? Just makes it back in the ring. That was close. Zayn's back in the ring. Zayn's got blood all around his mouth. Kevin Owens, he's got a dislocated shoulder. These guys are going to fight forever, it feels like. Both of these guys are spent. Zayn just with a right hand. Kevin Owens just looks annoyed at this point. Like, why are we still fighting? Kevin Owens headbutts Zayn, right hand. And now these two again just smashing each other with right hands and blows. Owens with a headbutt and a forearm. God, it's nearly knocked Sami Zayn out. And stomps to the face of Sami Zayn. Owens is managing to fight back. Owens still trying to breathe, it looks like. Still trying to get some feeling into his arm. As you just see this forearm. Owens' arm's hung up on the top right by Zayn. On a Zayn, knee to the back of the head. On Owens' throat landed on the bottom rope. Zayn Haluva kick to Kevin Owens. That's going to be it. Haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn gets the victory. That was my prediction. Finish kind of came out of nowhere a little bit, but they teased the throat landing on the bottom. The throat landing on the bottom rope. It was kind of a kick to the back of the head. Owens' throat lands on the bottom rope. Haluva kick. Sami Zayn gets the victory. Sami Zayn actually wins. Sami Zayn won a match. Oh my goodness. But Sami Zayn gets the win in just a match where Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens just beat the hell out of each other. I would say it was probably better than their WrestleMania match, in fairness. And they had a difficult spot to follow because they had to, oh my goodness, look at that Haluva kick. Legitimately kicked him in the face. They worked a stiff match, a real stiff physical match. Again, probably better than their WrestleMania match. I don't know if legitimately Kevin Owens has dislocated his shoulder. I still get the impression he might have actually legitimately dislocated it because the referee was communicating a lot with the backstage area. But that Haluva kick, legitimately, Sami Zayn just kicked Kevin Owens square in the face. Sami Zayn's bleeding. They just beat the hell out of each other. Kevin Owens might be legitimately hurt. That was just brutal. Absolutely brutal. But Sami Zayn gets a win. Ryan says injury legit. I mean, it felt like it. I mean, Kevin Owens is a great worker, so you never know. If you're enjoying Hell in a Cell, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, as we're 13 subscribers away from 4,000. Sami Zayn just spat his blood onto a piece of paper. Sami Zayn shouting at the announce table, saying that's for justice. Kevin Owens is still selling the injuries, maybe the dislocated shoulder or the inability to breathe. But Sami Zayn gets the victory. A much needed victory, it's got to be said, but a victory nonetheless. So I've only got 2 matches left. I'm assuming the next match is going to be, well, I'm not assuming. The next match is going to be for the Raw Women's Championship. And then we've got our main event. See, the event going on quickly, which is par for the course for these WWE events. Which, again, is not a bad thing at all. At all. Because we're only, what, like an hour and 40 minutes into this one? And we're already at the penultimate match of the evening. Which, again, isn't a bad thing at all. So we're seeing this weird... Is this a credit one? A credit one advert with Booker T. Bless me. That was the most exciting thing that's happened on the stream so far tonight is my sneeze. So we're getting a Credit One Bank advert of Booker T and a Roman. Why? Why not? I mean, the puzzled look on my face is because I don't know what advert I'm watching. We get an advert of Montez Ford talking about being a father on Father's Day, of course. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Also, they did a similar advertisement with Kofi Kingston, who's going to be a father again, by the way. It's Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are back on commentary. So why are they back on commentary? What match is left? We've got the Raw Women's Championship. We've got the WWE Championship. So why is Michael Cole and Pat McAfee still on commentary? What the hell's going on? They're doing a recap of Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio. They better not be showing this match in full. I'd be livid. So they're showing a recap package because it's WWE television. Of course they have to show a recap package. They're showing Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio inside Hell in a Cell from Friday Night SmackDown this past week. Where we saw, to be honest, the match was fine between Mysterio and Reigns this past week on SmackDown. I don't know if I would class it as, excellent or certainly one of the all-time great Hell in a Cell matches, certainly. It kind of just, it was what it was, wasn't it? It's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do, I think, a Hell in a Cell match as a main event on a free TV program. We've seen that with the adverts. Although I will say when it comes to the commercials, this past week, a lot of people were very upset by the commercials. I can't believe they had commercials. I can't believe they had the commercials. The reality is a little bit like, well, what do you expect? Seriously, what do you expect? It's free TV. Although I will say what I did enjoy, I enjoyed the spot where Reigns powerbombed Mysterio just into the cage wall. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that spot was good. Although I did prefer the spot when he did it to Dominic. I find it funny as well is like Ray wanted the match early as well. Ray wanted the match early. He was avenging his son being, defeated and beaten up and all this kind of stuff. So what happens when he gets in the submission? Taps out straight away, of course, right? Taps out straight away. Instead of passing out valiantly in honor of his son, no, taps out straight away. Why? Because that's how you defend your son's honor, right? And Reigns, once again, after the match, locked in the guillotine and Mysterio tapped out once again. Then he said, Happy Father's Day, because Roman Reigns is that evil man. How do you stop Roman Reigns? He's going to be facing John Cena at SummerSlam. Cena ain't going to stop him. The Raw commentary team is back on the call. We're seeing Bobby Lashley backstage. He's no longer partying with his females, thank God. He's there with MVP warming up. Of course, the main event is Lashley versus McIntyre WWE Championship tonight. Two titles still on the line. The first being the Raw Women's Championship, which is going to be coming next. They're promoting the theme by Ozzy Osbourne. Love me some Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness. And of course, coming up next, the Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. I have a feeling we could see a title change here. I really do. Which I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm going to be honest with you. As we go to another recap package, because of course, why wouldn't we? But Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, of course. Rhea Ripley won the championship at WrestleMania. I'm surprised more on social media hasn't been made about what I thought was a legitimate injury to Kevin Owens' arm. I know a lot of people haven't really referenced it, which I think is surprising. They were showing the highlights of Rhea Ripley winning, retaining the championship at WrestleMania Backlash. They've just completely edited out Adnan Burke's commentary, which again isn't a bad thing. Rhea Ripley, of course, has beaten Asuka about 10 million times. And this match as well, between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, arguably had one of the worst build-ups to a pay-per-view match ever. a main event, or high-level championship match. In the creative for this feud between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair was, let's make the two competitors look completely worthless and like idiots. So Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair have just been losing every week on Raw. That's the way to get these lot over, isn't it? Yeah, let's have them lose every single week on Raw. The best thing they did is when they had Ripley and Flair beat the hell out of each other on Monday. That was the best thing that they have done when it comes to this feud. And they had Charlotte Flair with a bloody nose and each other beating the hell out of each other. That's the best thing that they've done. They hadn't done that previously. But just this match, I have a feeling we might see a title change here. Here comes Charlotte. If she wins this match, she gets to what? Is it 12 or is it 13 title reigns? It's something. It's like 12 or 13. She'll beat her father. It took Ric Flair like a million years in pro wrestling to get to 16. Again, that's a fictional number anyway. But it took him a million years to get to that number. Charlotte Flair debuted on the main roster in 2015. She's already at 12, 13. It is a madness. But who do we think is going to leave as the Raw Women's Champion here? If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the like button. Super chats, of course, are open. You can do that by clicking the $sign. Let's do a quick check on how many championships Rhea Ripley has. Kevin Avery is saying 14, but I don't think it's that many. I have a feeling it's 12. I mean, I might be wrong. I have been before. So if we're including NXT Championship, which she is a 5-time SmackDown Women's Champion, so that's 5. A 4-time Raw Women's Champion, so that's 9. A 1-time Divas Champion, that's 10. And a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. So yes, I was right. She is a 12-time Women's Champion. So you'll become a 13-time champion tonight if she wins. So she's currently 12 times. And here comes Rhea Ripley, who gets a babyface reaction from the ThunderDome. So I guess she's a babyface tonight, even though WWE certainly can't make their mind up about what she is. Is she a heel? Is she a babyface? Is she? I don't know. I don't think WWE knows sometimes. Rhea Ripley got some interesting makeup on tonight. She's got something painted over her eye. What is that? Is that like a pitchfork? This is technically a WrestleMania 36 rematch, where Rhea Ripley was defeated by Charlotte Flair. Realistically, if you want to get over Rhea Ripley, if you want to make Rhea Ripley a big name, a big star, Rhea Ripley should beat Charlotte Flair here. I have a feeling she won't, though. It's still crazy to think that Rhea Ripley is... how old is she? 24? It's nuts. I don't mean this as an insult, but she doesn't look 24, does she? But realistically, I mean, Charlotte Flair's, I think, 34, 35. Rhea Ripley could be around for 10 years and still be in her prime. As we're getting the ring introductions for Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley for this Raw Women's Championship match. Kevin Abreu says, why doesn't WWE use Mia Yim on SmackDown? Because they either keep forgetting or they just change their minds. I think she's had her debut postponed or moved or cancelled like at least twice now or something like that. It's what WWE does. Unfortunately, she is stuck in creative limbo right now when it comes to Mia Yim. But the Raw Women's Championship is on the line. What the hell? The referee was holding up the Raw Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair stole the title off the referee and just threw it in the face of Rhea Ripley and then just struck her with a forearm. I guess the mind games have already begun. Charlotte Flair tells the referee to ring the bell. Schoolboy roll up and a kick out at 2. Oh, big boots by Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley looks frustrated. She's just kicked the barricade. Jimmy Smith, does it count of mind games if you kick someone in the face? I don't know. Here comes Rhea Ripley back into the ring, staring off of Charlotte Flair. Or kick to the guts. Oh, goes to throw Rhea Ripley into the turnbuckle. Oh, forearm by Ripley. The trading forearms here are Charlotte and Rhea. Oh, reverse elbow. It's crazy to think, isn't it, that their first match was scheduled to be at WrestleMania 36 in front of a sold-out stadium of like 70,000 people in Raymond James Stadium at WrestleMania 36, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. This is their second one-on-one match. Certainly their second one-on-one pay-per-view match. They did compete at NXT TakeOver in Your House last year in a triple threat match. But their main roster second pay-per-view match, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and once again, it's in front of 0 fans. Darn it, don't we hate this pandemic. And Charlotte Flair just slapping the back of the head of Rhea Ripley. As side headlock or chin lock by Rhea Ripley on by Charlotte Flair on Rhea Ripley. You can already tell her tired I am. This is the problem of getting your vaccine at 9 a.m. As Charlotte Flair is locking in the side headlock on Rhea Ripley. Pulls the hair of Ripley down onto the canvas. Charlotte Flair certainly looks focused. She looks fired up. But when Charlotte Flair, the thing is with Charlotte Flair is when she's on, when she is fired up, there's still not a lot of people that can touch her. There really aren't. Oh, Rhea goes for a suplex. Charlotte Flair rolls over. Oh, big clothesline. Oh, big boot by Charlotte Flair into Ripley. Bounces off the barricade. Charlotte Flair goes for a cover. Ripley kicks out at 2. And again goes for another cover. Kicks out. And then another one. Rhea Ripley kicks out. Charlotte Flair realizes she's in control, certainly, as you see this big boot on the outside where Rhea Ripley bounced off the barricade. As Charlotte Flair seemingly just completely in control at this point. And again, more kicks to the back of the leg. And now he's just squeezing and bending the knee across the bottom rope. Working over that left knee of Rhea Ripley. Charges Rhea in the corner. Oh, and just gives Rio Ripley a big forearm to the face. Does Charlotte Flair. Now it's going to go after the knee. Oh, Ripley moves the knee out the way. Now Charlotte Flair might have hurt her knee, though. She might have blown out her knee. Flair ducks down. Rhea Ripley, big clothesline. Short arm clothesline, a couple of them. Oh, now going for a ripcord. Oh. A couple of duck unders. Oh, a big headbutt by Rhea Ripley. Oh, and a super kick. Super kick by Ripley. Charlotte Flair's going to try and roll to the outside. Look at that. Super kick goes more to the chest than the face, to be honest with you. Again, it's still. I guess we officially know that. Oh, Charlotte Flair's got an ankle lock or a knee bar. A knee bar on Rhea Ripley over the ring ropes there. Oh, baseball slide by Rhea Ripley to Charlotte Flair, but it might have continued to hurt the bad knee of Rhea Ripley. Jimmy Smith doing an excellent job breaking down it all on commentary right now. Rhea Ripley firing up. She's going to go to the top turnbuckle, it looks like. Ripley up top. Missile drop kick. Charlotte Flair bounces around the ring. Goes to the cover. Charlotte Flair kicks out. Rhea Ripley. Don't usually see that. Missile drop kick over the top rope. Oh, go for a... Look at that. Beautiful scorpion-style submission on Charlotte Flair. That is a badass submission, isn't it? Oh, Charlotte Flair rolls through and Rhea Ripley's face goes right into the bottom turnbuckle. Probably knocked out. That was nasty. Eyes are rolling into the back of her head. Certainly got that cloudy, glazed look in her face. Natural selection. That might be it. Natural selection, 2. Oh, Rhea Ripley kicks out. And Charlotte Flair had her feet on the ropes. Look at this. Natural selection. And Charlotte Flair, look. She had her feet on the ropes. And then Ripley did kick out as well. I don't know what happened there. It was messy, whatever it was. Oof. Reverse elbow by Charlotte Flair. Goes for a boot. Oh, Rhea Ripley German suplex onto Charlotte Flair. Oh, Charlotte Flair knee and going to the second turnbuckle. Ripley, she was going for a clothesline and Charlotte Flair countered into a sort of combination backbreaker into the middle turnbuckle. Charlotte Flair's going to the top rope. She's going to go for a moonsault. Lands on it. Oh, second moonsault. Shades of Andrade El Idolo. And Rhea Ripley kicks out. Still doesn't do it as good as Andrade, but it's good to see her do it. Keep Andrade's WWE legacy alive. Look at that. It's beautiful. I mean, the moonsault is spectacular. Sometimes our biggest problem is that a moonsault is too good. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. Oh, it's going to go for a figure four. Oh, rolls through. Kicks out. Goes for a big boot. Oh, reverse elbow. Again, shades of Andrade once more. Kicks out again. Charlotte with a couple of Andrade tributes once again. The double moonsault. The big boot into a reverse elbow. Oof. Kick to the hamstrings. She's going to go for another figure four. Oh, a big boot to the face of Rhea Ripley by Charlotte Flair. Flair's going to climb to the top rope. This isn't really usually like her. She does a moonsault. Oh, she's caught at the pass by Rhea Ripley. Grabs the hair. Flair and Ripley just smacking the hell out of each other in the corner. It's turning into a bit of a Donnybrook, as they would say. Ripley climbs the top. She's going to go for a superplex here. Oh. They're on the top rope. Beautiful superplex. Oof. Rhea Ripley looked like she landed on her neck. Goes for a cover straight away. Oh, Charlotte Flair kicks out. Charlotte Flair's looks in pain. Rhea Ripley's does also. So we see the superplex. And took a lot out of Rhea Ripley. It was a strange superplex. She just kind of falls. Just kind of falls. And Rhea Ripley lands just horribly. She really does. She lands horribly. So Rhea Ripley still selling the effects of the injured knee. On Flair and Ripley just slapping the hell out of each other here. Oh. Chop to the chest by Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley. Oh, charges. Now Charlotte Flair goes into the turnbuckle. Ripley going for a riptide. Riptide should get a foot on the rope. Just position right next to the rope. Cover. Charlotte Flair gets her foot on the bottom rope. We're getting Corey Graves giving it. It's up to inexperience. It's inexperience on the champion's part. Seeing the replay. Beautiful riptide, but it was right next to the bottom rope. You knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, you always do. Whenever they're anywhere right next to the turnbuckle, you know what's going to happen. Charlotte Flair still trying to recover at ringside. Referee saying she can't go to the outside. Why not? God. Rhea Ripley runs to the outside. She's challenged, going after Charlotte Flair. Oh, Charlotte Flair kicks the leg out beneath Rhea Ripley. Oh. It's a drop kick against the... drop kicks Rhea Ripley's knee against the steel ring steps, and the Rhea Ripley's going crazy. Really selling the knee. Rhea Ripley gets back in the ring. Why you would do that, I don't know. You can retain the championship by count out. Oh, big spear. Spear by Charlotte Flair. Let's go for figure eight. This might be our finish. This is going to be it, I think. Ripley, figure four is officially locked in. Is she going to bridge into that figure eight? Is she going to bridge? Is she going to bridge into the figure eight? Figure four is locked in. Here we go. She's going to... Oh, Ripley's going to try and roll across. Oh, she gets the bottom rope. I thought that was going to be the finish. Now, they both fall into the outside. So the hold is officially broken. Charlotte Flair looks like she's going to lose her mind. Charlotte Flair looks to be pretty furious. Oh. The referee's disqualification. What? Rhea Ripley just pulled the announcing hood and hit Charlotte Flair with it. I mean, out of desperation, the referee called that for a disqualification. What? That's a DQ. What a BS finish that is. Oh my goodness. That's a DQ? Seriously? Oh my god. You're calling that as a DQ? Oh, what a stupid finish. I mean, I'm glad that Rhea Ripley is still the champion, but we're going to get another match between these two, and just talk about a stupid way to end what was a good match. That's a DQ. We see it in every other match. There's no. I mean, it's not as if one of them used a weapon. Such a dumb finish. A real dumb finish. Which is a shame, because that's all people are going to remember it for. They're not going to remember. They're not going to remember that, you know, that Rhea Ripley lost. And Rhea Ripley just hits the Riptide on Charlotte Flair. So Rhea Ripley is still with the champion because she got DQ'd. A dumb DQ. A stupid DQ. Some of the booking on Raw, especially for the females, the Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler, now Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. How dumb. So Rhea Ripley is still the Raw Women's Champion. Again, who's the babyface? Who's the heel? Rhea Ripley's happy. She's happy that she retained. She's happy that she's still the Raw Women's Champion. And the babyface is celebrating a disqualification, retaining the title. The heel is now selling like a babyface. It's not meant to be a double turn, but once again, who's the babyface? Who's the heel? It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Ugh. Well, now Charlotte Flair's. Charlotte Flair says, DQ, you're learning, bitch. Then Rhea Ripley says, I only did what you would have done to me. What? What is going on? Oh, what a stupid ending. We've seen a couple of them on this show. So I'm hoping then on Raw. I'm hoping on Raw tomorrow then, when Randy Orton has his match against whoever and he drops someone on the announce table. That's a DQ now, is it? Is that's what we're going with? Is that now a DQ? Oh. Who came? The thing is, whoever came up with that finish. Whoever came up with that finish thought they were being really creative. Oh, that's unique. We haven't seen that before. There's a reason why certain things you haven't seen before, because they suck or they don't make any sense. That's what the difference was there. It didn't make any sense. It sucked. What a lame finish. And afterwards, they're trying to play it up like, well, I only did what you would have done to me. I only did what you would have done to me. I would have done this. I would have done that. Oh, just dumb. Absolute dumb. Well, at least we're going to be on to our main event in a second, which, of course, is the WWE Championship Hell in the Cell match. But seriously, the two Raw female matches tonight. I mean, who is booking that Raw Women's division? Because whoever it is should be fired. I mean, there's enough of the firings going around at the moment, but oh my God. What an absolute mess, honestly. What a mess. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash your like if you thought that finish was dumb as shit. Because it was. We're only 12 subscribers away from 4,000. We're on 988. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Just so. Ryan says, if I was Becky, I would not come back. I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame her. She's busy up training at the Performance Center, and she's looking at it going, wait a minute, but Raw's doing what? Why would I want to come back to that? Why would I want to be involved in that? Oh, honestly. Just what a mess. So lame. So lame. So dumb. But the main event's going to be next, the WWE Championship Last Chance Hell in a Cell match. I thought that was going to be our title change tonight. Maybe that means our title change is indeed going to be the main event for the WWE Championship. Obviously, again, this is the last pay-per-view inside the ThunderDome. And coming up next, Bobby Lashley's first Hell in a Cell match, of course, against Drew McIntyre. Final chance, last chance, which in WWE talk means that he'll win. But I'm still saying Lashley retains. I hope so, certainly. I think someone's going to cost Drew McIntyre. So I'm hoping Lashley. I'm going for Lashley to retain. I certainly hope so. I think there's way more in the Lashley title reign, and I think McIntyre needs to. I think McIntyre, frankly, just needs to step out of the WWE Championship picture at this point. To be honest, I wouldn't even be. Given the state of WWE Raw at the moment, given the state of the Raw booking, I wouldn't be surprised if McIntyre loses. And given the state of this stipulation is that McIntyre doesn't get another opportunity, I wouldn't be surprised if McIntyre loses. Suddenly they go, yeah, McIntyre can get another shot. McIntyre can get another title shot. I wouldn't be shocked at all with that. I really wouldn't. But McIntyre stood tall this past week on Raw, which says to me that he wouldn't stand tall tonight. But it's interesting because, I mean, these WWE ThunderDome pay-per-views aren't as long as other traditional WWE pay-per-views. So we start at, 1 o'clock over here in the UK. So it's 3:30. And so that's 2.5 hours. So I reckon this probably will last about half an hour, maybe. As we're seeing the promo package between McIntyre and Lashley in this WWE Championship Hell in a Cell match. Last chance Hell in a Cell match. K Ballard 27 says, did Charlotte just use the B word? She did. Because again, it's such a bugbear of mine, but WWE has this weird. If it's females feuding, if they have to insult each other, they have to call each other bitches, right? Because that's what females do, right? Why do they need to do that all the time? Why? They don't need to do that. As the promo package for the Hell in a Cell main event just finishes, the Hell in a Cell is being lowered at the Performance Center. I kind of mentioned it earlier on. I'm still not a fan of the red Cell. I still preferred it when it was the silver Cell, must be said. Well, here comes the challenger, Drew McIntyre first. And out comes Drew McIntyre with his giant sword, of course. The sword he used to cut a table in half this past week on Monday Night Raw, which was odd. It's got the fire, the flames coming up as McIntyre gets his final opportunity. But will he leave WWE Champion? Again, I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan. I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan, but I just don't think that this is. I think Lashley needs to retain here, but I really don't know if he will. Andrew Pollard's with us. He says the SmackDown matches certainly were better than the Raw matches. Great show overall, though. Good pay-per-view. I mean, again, they always are. They always are good pay-per-views in the ThunderDome. The Raw matches. Obviously, that Raw Women's Championship match was good. The ending was garbage. The Alexa Bliss. I mean, there's only been a couple of Raw matches, in fairness. The other one was Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, which the less said about that, the better, frankly. As McIntyre's inside the cell. And the fire shoots up around the ThunderDome. And Andrew Pollard says, hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining us. As McIntyre awaits the entrance of Bobby Lashley, the almighty WWE Champion. I love the Lashley entrance as well. The Lashley entrance is superb, isn't it? It's so good. The Lashley entrance is so good. It's not only that, it's his music does genuinely feel like, when you're playing a video game and you get to the final boss. That's literally what Bobby Lashley's entrance feels like. And here he comes, the almighty WWE Champion himself. There he is, the almighty WWE Champion. It's such a great entrance, it is. Awesome entrance. Again, this is Lashley's first ever Hell in a Cell match. Lashley's competed in other kinds of cage matches in the past. Obviously, competed in a steel cage match famously on an episode of ECW back in 2007 against Hardcore Holly. After the match, did that iconic moment where he jumps, crashes through the side of the cage, and the cage crashed on Umaga at ringside. That was pretty awesome. In the build to WrestleMania 23, the Battle of the Billionaires. Lashley gets some words of encouragement by MVP before he enters the cell. Lashley is officially inside Hell in a Cell. And he certainly seems to be all kinds of fired up as Pyro shoots around the ThunderDome for the almighty WWE Champion. The door padlock. Doors locked. Just Lashley and McIntyre inside. I just wonder what they're going to do with the WWE Championship. Desmond Wrestling, who's obviously not a fan, he says this pay-per-view feels weak and trash. There is an element of it that certainly feels a little bit like... there is an element of it that feels a bit like... Again, we'll get to July. We'll get to July. We'll get to August. I'm waiting for the bell to ring. Here we go. The main event is about to start. Referee's about to ring the bell. Lashley telling McIntyre, this is your final opportunity. The bell rings, and here we go. Match officially underway. Lashley reminding McIntyre, this is your last chance. Better make it count. Lashley now running away. What's he going for? He went for a weapon. Oh, Glasgow kiss. Straight away. Oh. And McIntyre throwing Lashley into the cell and just ripping his face across the mesh of that Hell in a Cell. McIntyre picks up Lashley and once again drives him into the wall of the cell structure. Nasty. Absolutely nasty from McIntyre. And McIntyre picking up the steel steps already. Things picking up fast. Oh, McIntyre charging at Lashley with the steel steps. Lashley cuts him off at the pass, kicks him in the gut. Oh, now Lashley throwing McIntyre into the cell. MVP chanting on. Whoa. Oh my goodness, what a suplex by McIntyre onto Lashley. Just suplexed and threw him into the cage, my goodness. That was unbelievable. Look at that. Oh my God. What a bump by Lashley. That was brutal. Oh, McIntyre just smashes Lashley with the steel steps to the face. McIntyre once again. Oh, steel steps once again to the face of the Almighty. Now Lashley's on the ground. Looks a bit out of it. All because of these continuous steel step shots to the face. They're brutal. Oh, God. Second one, Lashley just, his head just literally ricochets brutally. What's McIntyre going for? He might be going for the Future Shock DDT. Lashley rolls through. Oh, a big right hand. Lashley, oh, big boot to the face by Drew McIntyre. Beautiful belly-to-belly suplex by McIntyre to Lashley. I mean, literally, Lashley went about... he flew around in the air. McIntyre's one strong dude. Look at this replay. Lashley just flies. Lashley fly through the air. Oof. You can see by Lashley's face that didn't feel good. It's been all Drew McIntyre so far, really. And McIntyre got a kendo stick. Oh, kendo stick across the back. He's going to go for a Russian leg sweep. Oh, Russian leg sweep by McIntyre into the cell. Also across the support beam of the cell. Looks like Lashley might have had a big cut on his shoulder, it looks like, from the sow immediately. Drew McIntyre setting up a table, it looks like, inside the sow. Oh, wait a minute. MVP's Kane. Lashley's got MVP's Kane. Oh, and to the throat. Kane to the throat. Oh, and another one. You can literally see on Lashley's shoulder, he's got literally just a bit of flesh just stripped. Now, Drew McIntyre, I guess, struggling to breathe at this point. MVP trying to reach for his cane. He can't get his cane back. He literally does. He does legitimately need it to walk around. He's still got a bad knee. Now Bobby Lashley suddenly in control. Oh. Oh, excuse me. What's Lashley going for here? He's looking like maybe a suplex or some kind of DDT or something like that. Oh, McIntyre shoves Lashley into the ring post. McIntyre's got Lashley on the shoulders. No way. He's going to go for an air raid crash. Air raid crash. Going to do it on the steel steps. Oh, air raid crash onto the steel steps by Drew McIntyre to Bobby Lashley. My, oh my. Air raid crash. A version of Sheamus's white noise by Drew McIntyre. Brutal by McIntyre on Lashley. What's McIntyre getting now? What is that? Is that a table? Yes, a table. McIntyre's got a table of sorts. He's setting up a table at ringside. What has Drew McIntyre got planned? Well, obviously he's got planned. He's going to try and put Lashley through the table. Oof. McIntyre just bouncing Lashley off the cell. God, a million camera cuts by the director. We don't need all of those camera cuts. We really don't. I think McIntyre's going to look for some kind of a suplex off the steel steps and to go on the table. But Lashley does a shot to Drew McIntyre's throat, which of course was attacked by MVP's Kane earlier on. MVP still chanting the words of encouragement by from ringside. And you see, yeah, it was just a thrust to the throat of Drew McIntyre. And Lashley just headbutting McIntyre now. MVP just talking trash to Drew McIntyre, saying, you asked for this. Lashley, oh, clothesline by Drew McIntyre. Oh. Lashley whipped McIntyre into the cell. He bounced off and responded with a clothesline. Managed to use Lashley's momentum against him. McIntyre sending Lashley back into the ring. Haven't seen a whole lot of action inside of the ring, frankly, so far. McIntyre says he's just getting started. He's throwing steel chairs into the ring. Multiple steel chairs. Three steel chairs. Three steel chairs in the ring. McIntyre said he's just getting started, obviously planning to use them as weapons. What's McIntyre planning? He's looking to try and wedge the steel chair in between the turnbuckles. Oh, Lashley's on jelly legs. Oh, Drew's going to go for a reverse Alabama slam. Reverse Alabama slam onto the steel chair. Oh, my goodness. Shoots the half. 1, 2. Oh, Lashley kicks out. I mean, this one's pretty violent. These two are beating the hell out of each other. Ugh. Oh man, Lashley's shoulder looks nasty. Got that like amount of flesh that's been ripped off of it. Oh, a steel chair to the back of Lashley. McIntyre going to the top rope. What's he planning here? He's on the top rope with a steel chair. Oh, goes for he counters into the hurt lock. Is he going to get the hurt? Can he get his hands clasped? Lashley's going for it. Oh, McIntyre manages to escape. He wasn't fully locked in, of course. Beautiful spine buster by McIntyre. Jackknife rolls through, kicks out. Powerbomb. Oh, Lashley kicks out. Just seeing this thing on social media, isn't it? No. It was just a botch. So it was a botch on social media. People were talking about it. You got to think it's with botches. You can't get too hung up on them. They are what they are. You know, it's live. You don't have a second take. Things aren't going to be perfect all the time, are they? MVP looks to be very concerned and worried at ringside. Don't necessarily blame him. Oh, it's McIntyre just kicks Lashley outside of the ring. Lashley just getting screamed at by Drew McIntyre. McIntyre's telling Lashley to tell him how much of a man he is, which is weird. McIntyre's got the steel steps once again above his head. What's he planning here? Oh, steel steps to the face. This match is certainly physical. So they're beating the hell out of each other here. Oh, oh my goodness. Lashley just trapping McIntyre's head in between the steel steps into the chain-linked cell. That was brutal. And now Lashley just mounting McIntyre, smashing him with these right hands. My goodness. And Lashley's just going crazy. Listen to it. I mean, he's going nuts. He's rabid. MVP's screaming at Bobby Lashley. And Lashley's back on his feet now. What's he planning here? Lashley now got a kendo stick in his hands. MVP just non-stop talking trash. What are they planning? Oh, wait, Lashley's holding up MVP in the Drew McIntyre in the corner. And MVP's just put the kendo stick through the Hell in a Cell. McIntyre's trapped. Oh, McIntyre gives him a middle finger salute. He flipped him the bird. And now Lashley just beating the hell out of Drew McIntyre. I can't believe Lashley got given the finger by Drew McIntyre. That's not PG. Now Lashley just teeing off body shots to the body and the face. Lashley just screaming. Now, it's this kind of Bobby Lashley we want to see. It's this kind of booking of Bobby Lashley we want to see. McIntyre tries to fight back, or on a flatliner by Bobby Lashley. MVP telling Bobby Lashley's got capitalized on this. Well, Lashley rolling McIntyre back into the ring. Now, Lashley still looks a bit sort of jelly-legged. He's taken a ton of punishment, in fairness. Sets up the steel chair. Lashley's going to go for another flatliner. It looks like another flatliner. This time, McIntyre's head just crashes onto the steel chair. He's going to go for it again. Another flatliner, face first onto the steel chair. You can see here 2 flatliners in a row. McIntyre face first into that steel chair. Obviously, there's still a table. There's still a table at ringside, by the way. No one went through that table. Someone will go through at some point. Lashley, just smashing Drew McIntyre with a kendo stick across the back. And again. Across the chest. Across the shoulders. He's trying to pick up McIntyre just looks pissed off. Oh, he's caught it. McIntyre just looks, he's McIntyring up. Oh, a Glasgow kiss to Bobby Lashley. Chair, to the gut. I guess McIntyre's now fine. Was that thumb to the eye? McIntyre swinging. Referee. Referee just got hit in the face with a steel chair. What the hell was that? Lashley, got thrown into the steel chair. What the hell was this? McIntyre future shock DDT. The referee, though, there's no referee. There's no referee to call it. The referee just got smashed with a steel chair. McIntyre had the steel chair. Lashley shoved McIntyre. McIntyre went into the referee. So there has been a ref bump. I smell shenanigans here, guys. Something big's going to happen in a second. McIntyre is telling the referee, open up the cell. He's telling the referee, get in here and make the pinfall. Can he do that? Can he do that? The hurt lock is nearly locked in. It's not fully locked in. McIntyre's going to roll through. He does. McIntyre belly to belly. His belly to belly is a proper throws. It's a legit throw. Steel chair to the gut and off the back of Bobby Lashley. Just throws the chair into the face of Bobby Lashley. Here we go. Claymore's going to be set up. Claymore, hit him. If there's a pinfall to be made, 1, 2. Wait a minute. The MVP just pulled the referee out. MVP interfered with the count. He had the match won. MVP, he's cost Drew McIntyre the WWE Championship. He had the match won. McIntyre looks shocked. The cell door is open, by the way, right now. No, it's been locked back up. MVP's not locked inside. Why did they lock the door? MVP's locked inside. And Drew McIntyre looks pretty pissed. Oh, MVP just taking shots now from Drew McIntyre. Oh, thrown into the steel post. Has MVP even been cleared for action? What the hell is going on? MVP being thrown into the ring. I mean, the guy's got, what, a torn ACL or something like that. McIntyre's all firing up. He's sizing up MVP for a Claymore. Claymore. MVP just got hit with a Claymore. Where's Lashley? The question is, where's Bob Lashley? Oh, look at McIntyre's back. McIntyre's back's a mess. Oh, his whole body's a mess. Look, he's got cuts, welts all over him. His back's bleeding. So's Bobby Lashley's as well, by the way. Well, Lashley, has he got it in? I think he's going to get the Hurt Lock in. It's the Hurt Lock. I think it's officially locked in. Yeah, the Hurt Lock's officially locked in. Oh, they've gone through the table. Lashley and McIntyre go through a table. Lashley had the Hurt Lock locked in. McIntyre just crashes through the table with Bobby Lashley. My goodness. What a match this is. Look at this. Oh, it was a rough table bump as well, but these two are just going at each other. It must be said, what a great match. These guys are just going at each other. I mean, I still don't know who's going to win this one. It could go either way. It really could. This match is just non-stop, isn't it? Oh, my God. Drew McIntyre's back's just an absolute mess at this point. If you're enjoying this match, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As McIntyre and Lashley just destroying each other. I said McIntyre's back is an absolute state right now. So's Bobby Lashley's shoulder. McIntyre's just got a look of just absolute disdain on his face. He's picking up the steel chair once again. Is he planning on a steel chair? Oh, shot to the back of Bobby Lashley. Lashley just spat at McIntyre. Oh. Off. Chair shot after chair shot after chair shot. Shades of Steve Austin and The Rock at WrestleMania 17. Oh, McIntyre. He's sizing him up. He's going to go for the Claymore. This might be it. Claymore. Oh, Lashley ducks. Again, look at McIntyre's back. It's just a mess. That's the kendo stick shots. Oh, Bobby Lashley. Oh, Bobby Lashley just chokeslammed Drew McIntyre through the other table on the other side of the ring. My goodness. You forgot about that other table there. Lashley's all fired up. Look at this. Chokeslam. Oh, through a table. Man, that was brutal. I mean, some of the bumps these guys are taking, it's absolutely crazy. McIntyre seems out of it. I don't know what Lashley's going to go for. Lashley, I mean, you might be setting up for a spear, maybe. He's down in almost he's not even a 3-point stance. He's all the way down on his hands and knees. Now he's in the 3-point stance. The look on the eyes of Bobby Lashley, I think he's setting up for a spear. Goes for a spear. Oh, sidesteps. Does McIntyre backslide? 1, 2. Oh, Bobby Lashley kicks out. Oh, Glasgow kiss. McIntyre, I think, is going to set up for a Claymore. Oh, he's going to go for a Future Shock DDT. Future Shock DDT. Now McIntyre setting up for a Claymore. This might be the one. McIntyre telling Lashley to get up. He's setting up for the Claymore. Is this going to be the one? Oh, it's MVP once again grabbing the foot. MVP once again. Roll up. 2, 3. Wins. The most devastating finisher in WWE once again is the roll up. Bobby Lashley wins a Hell in a Cell match via a schoolboy. It's the most devastating move in WWE. The roll up strikes again. Of course it does. Of course it does. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Of course it ends in a roll up. Is that the second roll up of the night? But Bobby Lashley wins. Drew McIntyre doesn't get any more title. Drew McIntyre doesn't get any more title opportunities, whilst Bobby Lashley is the WWE champion, which he is, of course. But Bobby Lashley retains. Because, of course, the referee went down. They're going showing here. The referee went down because of the Drew McIntyre bump. And MVP gets involved numerous times. Because there was no referee to count the pinfall when he first had the Future Shock DDT. When McIntyre, he hit a Claymore earlier on. There was no referee. Well, he came in eventually, but MVP pulled the referee. I mean, technically the referee counted 3 when he pulled him out of the ring. But as I mentioned, the roll-up is the most devastating move in WWE today. The roll-up. Because see here, a schoolboy. Hell in a Cell match finished with a schoolboy. It's typical, isn't it? It's just so typical. That's the match that that's the match. That's the way that they finish it. Of course it is. And the Almighty era continues. Wow. So there you go. Lashley retains. Drew McIntyre's not getting another opportunity. That's it. What an ending. Wow, guys, look. I'm going to jump on, set up